TNC Cup. All yours.
Okay, so again, a very good evening to each one of you. Welcome to the session on not just industry research, because we are not limiting to that. We'll be open to talk about each and everything that you feel has been a barrier in your professional journey, right? And for that reason, I want to let this session be handled by you guys, by which I mean that, wherever we feel that we are stuck, or we are not able to feel that I'm getting the gist of it, we'll go back to the basics, we'll go back to the scratch, and we'll try to see how we develop a career path for us. As I spoke to some of you earlier, I have realized that most of us are already into a different specialization or into a different domain, and we might want to switch to a career in finance, or we could have a learning attitude where we've decided that yes, it doesn't matter if I'm not from finance, I want to pick up something, because there are people to help us do that. So again, just like all of you or some of you might see me as a mentor or anybody in life, I have also felt that inspiration and motivation from a person here in the group. Before I introduce myself, before I let you know what I have in store for you, I want to ask Arun a few questions. So Arun, can I have you on board, please? Can I want to hear your voice and that energy you bring into the group?
Yes, ma'am, at your service.
So right, so I mean, again, modesty is what is his best quality, but then let me tell you that COE or the Center of Excellence Group or KGF, wherever you come from, you might have seen my YouTube, anything and whatever, wherever, we all come together, because our energies match, right? There is some reason or the other why we are all here. As I said, for some it's learning, for some it might be a reason or a motivation to move ahead in life, no matter how stuck we feel. So before I give you all the a path to move ahead, all the motivation and energy, I want to hear from Arun a few words or a few lines that he wants to share with all of you as freshers, as experienced going ahead, because he comes with a lot of experience, right? And he's the best person to guide you ahead. And for those of you who will be joining me on the next journey, which is probably a basic course or an advanced module that we prepared, he would also be a panelist who will be able to give you an idea of how the work looks like, the areas of improvement, etc. So over to you, Arun. Yeah.
Now, I'll say something pretty simple at this stage because we're just beginning. So all that I would say is there, you know, learn and practice. Learning is through Kavya or other great mentors that we'll have, and you can have all the encyclopedia in the world, all the knowledge in the world, all the Udemy, Udacity, 100 different classes. You can have FOMO and store thousands of books and materials, but the real learning happens through a mentor. That's I really believe in the old school method. Although I have the best of technology, best of tools, but if you get the right mentor who can cut short your steps of learning, that's the best. And after learning, the only other word I will highlight is practice, because you can learn everything in the under the sun, but if you do not make time to practice each day, you're still not ready for the eventual interviews or whatever journey in your life you're going to undertake. So learn and practice. There's no other way out. Um, Also, I would like to say, please stay away from scammers, those kind of people that say, I will get you a job in EY or Dell or whatever other great companies. I will refer you and I'll make like pay stubs for you, or free this for you, or free that for you. They're all, please verify with one of the leads, particularly Kavya, myself. We have many other leads, Sanjay Chandra, um, Antesh. If you talk to these people, you'll be able to figure out who are who are the people who are misleading you guys. So just be careful, guys. Apply your common sense. Learn, practice, apply your common sense. These are my only simple messages for the day.
Thank you so much for saying that, Arun. And those of you who've registered this, those of you who agree with what he says, please let me know in the chat box that yes, yeah, I have to improve. I know that I'm aware of who's right for me, who's not. So can all of you let me know in the chat if you're still available, you're here for the next step. I want that energy. I want the excitement that yes, we are here to learn something. We are here to deliver something or take away with us a lot of learnings. Wonderful, right? So the first step is not to, to find out what the starting point of entering into finance is. For me, the first point is always to have that motivation to get started, right? You all agree, right? I mean, it's very important to bring in that fire within you, that instigates an action. So it's like you are full of water, you're full of fire, you're full of earth elements, right? But it's very important for the fire to react in a way that yes, finally we are able to turn our thoughts into actions. So how many of you are action takers? Can I have an unmute of the mics and just speak it out loud? Let's just put it in the universe. I am an action taker. I want to hear different voices, and I want all of you to start with this thought. I am an action taker, and if I'm not, I will be. Can I have some voices? Can some of you just unmute and say that, yes, I'm an action taker? I will start. Come on.
Yes, I'm an action taker.
Wonderful.
Yes, I'm an
Yes, I'm
action.
an action taker.
So
Yes, I
great.
am
I want
action
more
taker.
voices. Yes, Ganesh.
Yes, I am also action taker.
थोड़ा और confidently बोलना है, but good. Very
Yes.
good. Right? So you see how the energy changed. You see how everything seems a little more positive now. And this is when now I can say that yes, we are ready to learn, we are ready to register whatever we are going to discuss. Or I mean, this is not something where I always have a presentation ready, I present that presentation and then probably we discuss. But today let's do it differently. Let me give you the power to tell me if you are going in the right direction or not. Let me give you the power to tell me about things that I might have forgotten in my journey of life. So over to you guys. Think about, or rather, let me give you a question right here, right? Tell me, how would you start with a career in finance? Let's say, assuming all of you are freshers, or you are someone who has to guide a fresher who wants to get into finance. Tell me, what would you recommend him to start with? I want to know your opinion first. Because industry research to bahut baat ki baat hai, right? Industry research comes into picture when you know what research looks like. So I'm someone who always feels that if you want to climb on the fifth stair, right, you should know how those four stairs that you are going to climb would feel like, right? So I'm talking about the first baby step that you are going to take in your career, so you might have taken. So what was the first step you took when you wanted to climb the career path, you wanted to start a relationship, you wanted to start your professional career, your academic career? What was the first realization? Tell me. Yes. Where did you start?
Kavya, when I started my career in finance and IT, I I finished my college and the I used to think that I'm super smart, and the first realization was how little I knew when I went into the industry. I mean, although I'd done internships and all, but the first awareness came from realizing how unaware I was until I met the right mentors.
Absolutely. Right. So one of the reasons or a very good example of how do you start is realizing the gap that is there. That gap could be, the skill sets needed versus the skill sets we have. It could be realizing that probably a particular degree might be important to enter a particular field, but then we keep struggling in life for some reason, right? No matter where we are. I could be having 4 5 years of experience, but I might feel, no, this is not working for me. Maybe data would work for me. Maybe business analysis will work for me. Maybe consulting will work for me, right? Correct. Very good point, as I see in the chat. It's understanding that yes, I am ready for finance. I'm ready to embark on that journey where there might be a lot of research, where I have to always be curious about numbers, where confidence is the key, because it's not just about analyzing, it's not just about coming with the numbers or projecting the financials. It is also about being able to communicate it to the people sitting above you or to your client in general. isn't it? So it's understanding that, okay, this is the gap that I have, this is where I want to go, and this is how I can bridge the gap. So for the first step, you have to do a lot of research. So then understand what research looks like. What do you have to do in research? So now I'm slowly bringing you to the topic of research, and I want to know from all of you, what is your understanding of what a research is? Generally, what do you understand by research? Can you define research? Anyone? Try whatever comes to your mind, a word, a sentence, a phrase. What is research?
Looking out for something that we don't know.
Okay, looking out for something that is not available, or not available, not, I won't say not available, but that is unknown to you, right? Foreign
Yeah.
to you. Correct, very good. Think of something else. Okay, and how do you do it? Like, you understood what research is. How would you start on researching about anything? You want to buy a phone, what do you do?
First, we Google. We, especially as we are in the internet age, so we look out for information on the internet.
Right,
That is the first step.
right.
I
Then
would
So
from
I
Google,
would add something to Shivam. So basically, I will perform a systematic investigation, whatever topic or whatever issue it is, to gain a deeper understanding. Not only, like Shivam said, I will gather the information, I will analyze the data, and I'll discuss it with people whom I trust, and then I'll be able to draw conclusions based upon either evidence or some logical reasoning, that kind of a thing.
wonderful. I think makes sense. We all have our ways of doing research. Any other point? Anyone who feels मैं कुछ different करता, मैं शायद Google पे ना जाता, maybe I would have done something else. मैं digitalization में believe नहीं करता. Anyone who has a different thought process? Yes, speak. This is a session of interaction. I am not here to deliver a presentation, to be very honest with you guys. I'm here to know your point of view, and basis that, I will add mine and we'll have a fruitful discussion. And whatever content you need, I'll guide you to the right websites, I'll guide you to the right study material. But then it has to be a two-way communication for me. As simple as that. Okay, I see some of you might talk to the experts, people who are dealing in the subject. That's a very good point. So try to categorize these different kind of researches, right? Let's say that some of you mentioned that maybe I'll take the help of Google. Some said that probably talk to the people, no? Talk to the people who are better aware of how that works. So can you try and categorize research into two broad categories? Anyone?
So, Kavya, I would do descriptive research or experimental research or qualitative research or quantitative research, and like a cross-sectional research, or I can do a case study research. So those kind of researches come to my mind, and you are the best person to explain these types.
Very well said. I think that's correct. But let's say that we don't understand such terms. We don't know what case study is, predictive and descriptive. No, we don't know, right? I'm a layman. So
In that
go
case,
back.
I'll just go to the KGF YouTube channel and talk to Kavya, set up a meeting with her, and in half an hour, I'll know more about how to do research. I'm serious. I'll know more about how to do research faster, quicker, and the right way.
Thank you for saying that. And awesome. Right. So, yeah, do you all agree with him or do you have a different opinion? Tell me. यही आ रहा था आप सबके माइंड में या कोई और वर्ड्स आ रहे थे? Anyone who's heard of primary research and secondary research? ये तो सबने सुना है, right? Primary and secondary. Can any one of you differentiate the two? Generally, whatever we know.
Yes, primary is like taking the data from the primary source, from the first source, and secondary is going through website or some other sources, secondary sources.
Good attempt, Maya. Can you also elaborate on first source का मतलब क्या हो? You said we take the information from the first source. What do you mean?
The
Doing the
first source
survey.
we will
You guys decide who speaks first. I won't. Any one of you can go ahead. Yeah.
By first source, we mean that we are collecting the data ourselves, and by the secondary source, we mean that the data is collected by the other person and we are using that particular data.
Yeah, that's another perspective. So in this case, it's more about who is preparing or is collecting that data. In the first case, it was more about where that information comes from. That is what I understand. Any other point, anyone? Yes, anything else? So we all know what primary, secondary is. Yes or no? इतना तो बता दो.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
So now we know that, directly किसी employee working in the company can tell us कि company में क्या हो रहा है, या फिर जो लोग publish कर रहे हैं on the website, we rely on that secondary source of information. I'm not going into the details of the exact definitions because honestly, it's not that relevant for now, right? But okay, so we understand this primary, secondary. Then there were two more words which were used in this session, and that is qualitative and quantitative. So when I say that, okay, I'll give you a statement, right? When you make an equity research report, make sure that you do both the kind of analysis. There should be a qualitative analysis and a quantitative analysis. What do I mean by this statement? Try to decode it and tell me iska kya matlab hota hai. What is qualitative? What is quantitative? What do you understand?
Quantitative research would relate more towards numbers. In the word, it says quantitative. So more number or analytical type of data that we collect about something, let's say, for example, a company. So yeah, basically finding out what are the numbers, what number says about the company. So collecting more data on that. That is quantitative. Qualitative is about how the business is. It's more about what is the brand value, how is the management, what is the perception about the company in the market, etc. That is qualitative data.
So he has completely Shivam has completely motivated me. So I'll just add on to his points. I think qualitative research is focused on understanding experiences, meanings, perceptions. So we can have methods like interviews or observations. Those will all fall under qualitative. And quantitative, like you already said, that it involves collecting the data, analyzing the numerical data. So we are able to identify patterns, we are able to identify relationships.
Perfect. Good attempt, both of you. And again, I'm hearing the same voices. I want some new voices to come in. I want more specific answers as to what would you include in qualitative. Okay, let's talk about qualitative first. Quality, right? Quality of a company, quality of an industry, quality of the economy. So can you name some of the qualitative factors? Let's start with a company, because it's very easy to understand from a company perspective because we have their financials, we have their annual reports. So tell me qualitative factors, company ke perspective mein, what do you think would be?
Goodwill.
Goodwill is a qualitative factor. Okay, yes. Goodwill and other assets similar to goodwill. Can you club them in one category?
No, I cannot think of any.
What is goodwill? Goodwill,
It's
what is the
basically
nature of goodwill?
nature of goodwill is something that puts you in a positive light in the market or in front of a few people or a few entities. It could be competitor, it could be clients, it could be the government, it could be the industry in total. So something like this. I cannot think of other assets that are close to goodwill. But I have a commerce background, so I remember that goodwill was part of accounts and balance sheets.
Right.
That's why I remember that it's a very big thing. It's a good. It comes in assets, so it is a qualitative feature for a
It comes
company
in
or a
intangible assets.
It's intangible asset.
yes,
Right?
yes,
So
intangible
goodwill,
assets.
yeah, goodwill is an intangible asset. What else is intangible?
Brand image,
Yes,
Patents, trademarks.
copyrights, customer relations, customer contracts, right?
human
These are the
capital.
things money can't buy, in simple words, correct? And there are some things money can buy. So when I talk about the qualitative factors, as you all correctly mentioned, right, the intangible assets a company has, the assets that cannot be seen and touched, but they exist. What else? What apart from the assets do you think works in favor of a company and you must account for it in a report, or it should be accounted for in the valuation of the business? Anything you feel.
Fine. What do you want to do?
Any
mergers
value
and
that its
acquisitions.
product bring to the customer.
Value addition, value
Value
preposition in the
addition.
minds of the customers, right?
Unique
Yeah.
selling point, USP.
USP, correct. Yeah,
Company.
Any mergers and acquisition in the recent past.
correct. Very well. Yeah,
Any deals basically. It could be
correct.
mergers and acquisitions, or it could be anything
Right.
related to the market.
Right. That's correct. Any one of you heard of the corporate actions that happen? Time and again, we see there's a buyback, there is a bonus share that is being issued, there is an ESOP that the company issues to its existing shareholders. There could be a stock split happening. So we should be aware of a much broader aspect of what a company can do. So maybe you're dealing with a company that doesn't pay dividends, but at the same time, you should know how would it differ from a company paying dividends. So that means growth. So think of a company as being a growth company, as a dividend paying stock, as a high market cap, low market cap, small scale company. It could also be a part of the index or not be a part of the index. So you start with not just, you don't start with the company analysis directly. You start to understand if the environment that the company operates in is, friendly enough to incorporate the operations of the company or not. Correct. So why am I here? Because, or why did I speak about industry analysis? Because I personally believe, and correct me if I'm wrong, I feel that it's very important for any person, any individual, if starting a career in finance, or rather if you're in any area of finance already, you cannot escape research. I am a valuation consultant. I do research every day, irrespective of whether or not it is asked from me. So am I wrong in saying that yes, equity research or fundamental analysis, analyzing the financial performance and the financial position of a company, of an industry, and the economy in general should be a good starting point for me to, understand the complex valuation things, complex corporate finance products, different asset classes. So do you think I'm in the right path? Are you all with me? Do you agree that yes, it's important to do the research first and then move to how it has to be valued in the first place? Because to value a business, to value an asset, to value what this phone might mean to you, right, you first have to assess what historically it has provided to a client or to a person or to the investors, the internal users or the external users. Correct? So yes or no, do you agree that yes, it's important to understand the past or the previous historical performance in order for me to do some projections? I'm sure we have a lot of business analysts or data analyst people here. So you guys would get some data to analyze, right? You cannot just analyze data randomly and assume that, okay, this I can grow this thing at a 5% rate of interest. You can only do it if you have enough proof to prove, or you have those invoices, those transactions, those trends from the historicals to support your statements. Yes or no? Tell me. Right? So the
Yes.
past comes before the future. So we must study the past before the future. Yes or no?
Yes.
So in
Yeah.
finance, what do we call this? What do we call this kind of an analysis? Tell me.
Historical analysis.
Generally equity research, right? Because we are trying to see what the equity or the ownership rights in the companies are. We're trying to study a company and industry from a holistic point of view. So now, why did I talk about qualitative and quantitative factors? Because an investor, or if you also, if some of you might be active in the stock market, if you want to buy a share, you might do some gambling because somebody told you that, intraday kar le, ye price badhne wala hai. You might have seen a lot of people dealing with index, Nifty 50, bank Nifty, then you have Fin Nifty also, right? So why do people trade in all this? Can any one of you tell me if Nifty, so tell me that if tomorrow Reliance doesn't perform well, will it impact Nifty 50 or not? And why?
It's impact Nifty 50
Why do you think it will impact Nifty? क्या लेना देना है Reliance का Nifty से?
because it's having certain weightage in Nifty 50.
Absolutely.
So Nifty 50 goes down if Reliance is not doing well.
That's very true. Very shortly, I'll ask some of you or one of you to just present the screen, and we can, what we can do is Shivam, Mayank, Aarti, and all of you people who've enrolled. Are you guys ready to, give this knowledge to everybody in the group? I want to hear specifically from the students who've attended my last class.
Yeah, sure.
Right. And I don't just want Shivam to present and speak. I want all of you people, right?
Yeah, sure, sure.
Prachi, Aarti, Gayana, Mayank, I see some of you,
Yes.
Bharat. Please participate. So, guys, I would now like to invite my students, who recently enrolled for the equity research module. We've just spent 1 week, but then I want that through them, through their hard work, we are able to see, what they are working on, and we can together suggest them the changes they can make. So, just to give you a bit of a background, again, I want you people to speak now and tell everybody that what or how do you start analyzing a company? What is the starting point? Yes, Shivam. Yes, Maya. Tell me, what is the starting point? Industry से भी पहले क्या analyze करते हैं?
Sector.
इंडस्ट्री को तो सेक्टर ही बोल देंगे ना प्राची, मतलब दे आर अनोनिमस, राइट? मतलब हम कह सकते हैं एक सेक्टर है या इंडस्ट्री है, तो सेक्टर एंड इंडस्ट्री सेम हो गया. बट मैंने क्या बोला कि एनवायरमेंट को स्टडी करना है, तो वो एनवायरमेंट को मैं व्हाट एम आई रेफरिंग टू दिस एनवायरमेंट?
We have to study the macroeconomic trends.
That's correct. So I'm sure all of you know the trends, but those of you who know would not speak, and those of you who are still, here to learn, try to think of some macroeconomic factors. Very generally, ये तो बहुत easy है ना. मतलब मैं आपसे पूछ रही हूँ कि एक इकोनॉमी या इंडिया को स्टडी करना है या ये देखना है कि अगर मुझे कल को अपनी एक ऑटोमोबाइल कंपनी सेटअप करनी है इंडिया में, तो is India giving me that opportunity or not? Right? MNCs have come and set up their operations in India. Why? So what are those factors you look for at an economy level? Tell me first.
Market performance
Market performance. Okay,
of
market performance.
the automobile industry, basically. How customers are weighing the market. So are they buying vehicles or not? Or has the share of a few competitors have gone down recently? So that will be great for this company trying to set up its operations in the country.
That's correct. Yeah. But then हमने जो बोला बहुत सही बोला, but then we still came to the next level, which is industry. आप क्या कर रहे हो? आपने बोला मैं industry को analyze कर लूंगा, right? तो आप industry को देख रहे हो, but before you look at what the industries or the similar companies or the comparables are doing, don't you think you would want to understand, the government interventions, the licensing policies, the barriers to entry of that particular economy, right?
Yes, the market.
The
Yeah,
market. So
I was thinking that, for example, if I were charged between opening up something in Ukraine versus India, I'll always go for India because, first of all, we have a stable government and a stable environment. That's the first thing I'd be looking for. Obviously, none of us would invest in Ukraine right this minute because it's in war.
absolutely. So it's not just important to see, how a particular industry has been performing and whether it gives you a good opportunity. It's also important that before you start with your research, you see if the current factors in India are, welcoming of that particular opportunity or not, or what is the SWOT that particular economy has to offer. What are the threats a company can potentially face, or rather an entire industry. So I always suggest that, start with a basic understanding of how the Indian economy looks like. So it's as simple as saying that if you want to read the annual report of an Indian entity, yes, guys, tell me what standard do we use in India? I think I've told you all, right? What is it?
Indian accounting standard.
Ind AS, right? So
Ind AS.
a basic understanding of that. Okay, I'm aware that this is prepared using the Ind AS. If I find an issue, if I'm not able to correlate with the numbers, I can always go back to Ind AS to read how it's done, right? So you got a clarity. अच्छा मेरे को ये समझना है तो ये इससे prepare हुआ है. So I know what that product is coming from. So the scratch of what that product is, how it was formulated to a point that now you have the financials, you would want to understand and go back and see ये prepare हुआ ही क्यों, जरूरत क्या थी, right? So I'm just trying to give you a brief understanding that we start with the economy. अब आ जाते हैं industry पे, ठीक है? I think I asked all my students to download an equity research report. So any one of you who is mentally prepared to, begin with that process, take 2 minutes, present a report. Let's start with a report, and then whatever questions you've prepared, we'll try to share our understanding of it with others. Right, everyone? So tell me, what report have you downloaded? Yes,
I have HUL ka report from Yes Securities.
kindly present it, Shivam, and let's have a brief discussion around it. Yeah. And also, please introduce yourself before you speak anything about your understanding of the report.
Right. So just a brief about me. My name is Shivam. I stay in Mumbai. I have been in the finance industry for the past 3 years, where 1 year I worked as a relationship manager, and the remaining 2 years I worked into investor relations, where I'm dealing with so investor relations. In short, it's bridging the financial communication gap between the investors and capital markets. So, sorry, between the clients, which are companies, which are listed companies, and capital markets. So, clients include companies like HUL, just as an example, Hindustan Unilever, Britannia, etc. And financial market would include all the fund managers, financial analysts, whoever is managing money in the financial market. So we bridge that communication gap between the two. So that's all I do. Now I will present my screen.
So let me ask who all are actually interested to have a look at the report of HUL. And what is HUL, anyone? सबको पता है, but एक बार मुझे नहीं पता. Can you confirm? Shivam, you won't speak. Okay.
Hindustan Unilever.
Yes. So let's have a look at what the analyst has to say about it, right? So, okay. Meanwhile, he's presenting. Can you name a few brokers or financial services companies जिनके reports आपने देखी है market में? Can you name a few?
I know
IIFL सबने देखा होगा.
I know
Motilal
financial
Oswal.
brokers, Sher Khan,
Motilal Oswal,
IIFL,
JP Morgan.
Right.
Goldman and Sachs.
Goldman, yes, Goldman also publishes reports, but I don't think you'd be able to find it easily as reports. You might find a lot of insights they've provided on their website.
I think
But
McKinsey also releases its reports on different financials for companies and industry.
yes, they do. But in general cases, if you want to analyze any industry, in any Indian company, some of the most reliable could be Yes Bank is another good one. Then you have Motilal, you have IIFL, you have Sher Khan, right? You have HSBC, you have Morgan Stanley, you have Credit Suisse, Goldman Sachs, and McKinsey and all comes from a more global perspective. I mean, they also provide ratings and they also provide equity reports on these Indian companies, but I would still suggest you look for reports of the brokers I mentioned first. So yes, over to you, Shivam, and let's see whatever we understand in the report, and then we'll proceed on how it considers the industry analysis into this report. Go ahead. Yeah,
So
all the best.
does SBI also release such reports?
No. SBI doesn't, they won't publish such reports because they are the ones who might be getting those reports by other brokers. So understand that SBI could also be a potential client of another analyst, right? You might be wanting to invest in the shares of SBIN. So for that, you need a reference document, and that document would be prepared by other parties. SBI might be
Yes.
providing some insights on how the banking sector looks like, how things or policies have impacted maybe SBI directly or the entire banking sector. So that is what you'll find more on their website. You won't find SBI doing a research on other companies, right?
Okay.
So
Can you
let's
repeat
come.
the company names who publish these reports?
So I won't again, Abhishek. You all have heard it. जिसको जो याद आ रहा है बता दो. It's your session. Tell me whatever any one of you has registered. Help him. Yeah.
Motilal Oswal, JM Financial, Yes Securities,
IIFL, Sher Khan.
Sher
Motilal
Khan,
Oswal,
IIFL,
Motilal, HSBC. Then you also have Morgan
HSBC.
Stanley. For now, this is enough.
We have
Morgan
JP
Stanley
Morgan.
Morgan Stanley releases its reports from an Indian perspective or from a global
Both.
perspective?
Both. Okay, Akbar unki website. If time permits, we'll sit in another session and we'll also review that. For now, I'm assuming that we are just understanding the basics. तो जिसको भी इस report में जो भी समझ आ रहा है, what is CMP, what is potential return, help Shivam figure it out, navigate it through your experiences. I'll be on mute for the next 5-10 minutes and let's discuss the same. And obviously, because everybody might have downloaded a different report, so I'll request my students to present one by one so that you can learn from them. So over to
So
you.
these reports are free of cost available.
Shivam, have you paid for it?
No, no.
This is available, Abhishek.
Then
So I
how
just
they
want
make
to.
money out of it? Like these reports, like if there are sell-side advisors like Yes Securities, they make these reports, they hire the research analyst. So these reports are basically paid, right? They want to earn money by making these reports.
So
So how
there
these
is
are free?
Abhishek. There is one source on Telegram, a group named Equity Research Reports. So some 26,000, 27,000 members are there. So basically they all are industry professionals. So they work in particular companies. So they keep sharing on these reports for free on that Telegram group. So you just search Equity Research Report on Telegram, and somewhere around 26,600 members are there. So you can join that group and you will be able to freely access all the reports you want. So they keep on sharing all these reports. So I downloaded it from there.
And
That is really useful. Thank you.
and
Yeah.
also to answer your question, Abhishek, I think I'll take it up in the end in detail. I don't want to interrupt Shivam's presentation, but understand that they are research companies. IFL is not just dependent, or its revenue or income is not just dependent on publishing the reports, right? It might be generating enough revenue from broking services, or let's say they might have a research division which takes care of these things. And you would never be able to fetch the detailed working they do to prepare this report. And that is the service charge they get from their client, because they are doing it for these parties. So अगर HUL की report आई है, so HUL might have provided them what their historicals have been, or let's say they've not relied on so do you think that they would just pick up the numbers from the annual reports and publish a report? No, they are certainly in touch with the management to understand what their projections of the future is. Correct. So there's a lot of things involved, and just for now understand that this is not their primary revenue generating activity, so there's no loss to the companies. But we'll come back to what the business model of the research or the financial services companies are. That is a very good question, and I'm happy that you think from that perspective, but we'll come back to it. Okay. Right, go ahead, Shiva.
Right. So should I be just briefly, as an overview, explain how the report goes on from the start?
Over to
Right.
you. Anything you want. I mean, however you want to engage everybody, you want to ask them about their understanding, you can. You want to talk about what is the conclusion. You have done the research, right? So, but yeah, you have 5 to 7 minutes. That's it.
Right. I would also encourage our own colleague in order to step in, and if they want to add anything, they are more than welcome. So this is the typical equity research report, which is prepared by Yes Securities. Here you can see their logo. I mean, Yes Bank has different arms. So one of the arms, which is Yes Securities, they prepare this report. Now here, if we see, this is RECO, RECO. Now here you can see the date and for which quarter the report has been prepared. This is the latest one which I was able to find in the Telegram group. So this is for the third quarter. Right now we are in third quarter. So third quarter is, so first quarter is from April to June. April, May, June is first quarter. July, August, September is second quarter. October, November, December is third quarter. So typically, when the third quarter ends, which is after December, generally companies publish their reports in a month or two. So maybe, after December, in the last week of January or first week of February, they would publish their numbers, and post that companies like Yes Securities, based on their results, how the company performed, what the management is talking about, what are their future plans, how the company has performed in this quarter compared to previous quarter, or year wise, quarter and quarter. So they all analyze that, and basis on that they collate all this information and prepare this report. So they collate all this data, structure it, and that's how the report is made. So if you see here, sector is consumer staples. So डेली थिंग्स विच वी बाय, सोप्स हो गए, पेस्ट हो गए, टूथपेस्ट हो गए, ब्रशेस हो गए, बहुत सारे प्रोडक्ट है हिंदुस्तानी यूनिलीवर के. So that whole sector is known as consumer staples. Now here reco is neutral. So recommendation यहाँ पे ये securities ने दिया है neutral. So तीन तरीके के recommendations होते हैं. First is either it could be buy, it could be neutral, or it could be sell. तो अगर अभी जैसे यस सिक्योरिटीज इज वन ऑफ द ब्रोकर्स जिन्होंने ये रिपोर्ट बनाया है, अगर उनको लगता है कि आगे जाके कंपनी अच्छा परफॉर्म करेगी, सब कुछ अच्छा चल रहा है, इंडस्ट्री में अच्छा चल रहा है, कंपनी अच्छी चल रही है, तो दे विल रिकमेंड बाय. तो यहाँ पे वो लोग बाय लिखते हैं. अब अगर उनको लगता है कि चीजें उतनी अच्छी नहीं चल रही है, शायद नीचे कंपनी बाद में अच्छा परफॉर्म नहीं करे, कुछ ऐसा इवेंट हो गया या कंपनी के अंदर कुछ ऐसे चीजें हो गई, तो दे विल रिकमेंड सेल. RECO इज रिकमेंडेशन. न्यूट्रल, वो लोग मतलब थिंग्स आर ऑन बॉर्डर, मतलब ना अच्छा भी है ना खराब भी है, चीजें सुधर सकती हैं आगे. सो दे वुड रिकमेंड neutral or something like that.
Shivam, can I interrupt you here?
Sure.
As per my understanding, if you go to the last of the report, these recommendations about sell buy are based upon the return. If analysts expect return more than 15%, then they recommend buy. If they expect return in between 10 to 15%, then they recommend hold. And matlab something like that. So it is not based on how the business is going and all. This buy, hold, and neutral recommendation is basically based on the expected returns that the stock might be generating in future, as
हाँ
per my observation.
हाँ, उसी को मैंने बहुत ही जनरल लेमैन टर्म्स में बोला है. ऑब्वियसली वो सब सारी चीजें तो इन प्रोसेस होती ही हैं, मैंने उतना डीप डाइव नहीं किया. आई एम जस्ट बेसिकली ब्रीफ में मैं चीजें बता रहा हूँ.
Okay,
So,
okay.
Thank you for the
I
input.
thought of adding a point.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay,
Yeah.
Shivam, before you proceed, I have a question.
हाँ.
I just checked, on Google, and I see that HUL का current market price तो 2440 है, but इसमें अलग लिखा है. Why is it?
Because ये जो डेट है which is 19th January, तो उस दिन का जो उनका वो सॉरी उस दिन का जो उनका वो प्राइस, जिस दिन ये रिपोर्ट उन्होंने बनाया, ये उस दिन का कैपिटल मार्केट प्राइस है.
Good.
2565.
So is this the closing price you feel, or this is the last traded price on 19th of January?
19th of January को this was the I believe it is a last traded price, because last traded price is जो last 20 या 30 transactions होते हैं शेयर में, उनका ये weighted average number रहता है, if I'm not wrong.
That is the closing price, Shivam. The weighted average of the last 30 is closing price. But again, इसको हम check कर सकते हैं, right? Any idea, anyone, on how we can go back and check the closing price on 19th of January? This is a very important aspect of return calculation. Risk and return calculation जब हम करते हैं, तो हम क्या use करते हैं as a basis? We use the daily stock prices, right? We use the daily price change to see कि average return कितना हुआ है. So, do you all think that there is a way I can go back and check कि क्या actually में 2565 था या नहीं? Very general question. Tell me, what do you think? कर सकते हैं check या नहीं कर सकते? पहले बताओ.
कर सकते हैं.
तो हमें ideally 8 days पहले का डेटा चाहिए. आज 27 था. I need the data पिछले इसी month का, but last 8 days पहले. कहाँ पे मिल सकता है ये डेटा?
ये NSE पे मिल सकता है.
Yeah.
NSE पे मिलेगा और कहीं नहीं मिल सकता?
गूगल पे भी मिल सकता है. गूगल पे इफ वी सर्च HUL शेयर तो वहां पे भी डेट वाइज प्राइसेस रहते हैं कि एक पर्टिकुलर डेट पे क्या प्राइस चल रहा था.
They can get it on Money Control also.
राइट,
Money
मनी
Control,
कंट्रोल,
Yahoo Finance.
Yahoo Finance.
टिकर टेप भी है.
टिकर टेप भी है. तो वी कैन चेक दिस एंड वी विल चेक दिस, है ना. मतलब एक बार सबकी क्लैरिफिकेशन के लिए हम कर लेंगे. अभी नहीं शिवम, आप अनदर सी वेरी गुड, आई एम हैप्पी यू गोइंग इनटू सो मच डिटेल्स एंड आई वांट यू टू डू इट, बट अंडरस्टैंड कि टाइम की भी वैल्यू है ना. मतलब नॉट फॉर टुडे सेशन बट अपने खुद के लिए. तो हमें एक टाइम पैरामीटर माइंड में सेट करना है कि मुझे सिर्फ 10 मिनट ही मिलेंगे आगे जाके. तो उस पैरामीटर को भी पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू में रख के मुझे एक अंडरस्टैंडिंग ये दे दो इन द नेक्स्ट 10 मिनट्स कि अच्छा मुझे क्या करना चाहिए एज एन इन्वेस्टर. यू आर अ कंसल्टेंट एंड आई एम एन इन्वेस्टर, यू टेल मी मैं क्या करूं इस स्टॉक के लिए.
अंडरस्टूड. वो तो यस सिक्योरिटीज ने ऑलरेडी नीचे आई मीन आई थिंक एक्सप्लेन करा ही होगा. तो शुड आई जस्ट ब्रीफ अबाउट दैट और I'll go through it. I'll go through it.
हाँ.
And जैसे
जैसे भी
हाँ
आपको
जैसे
ठीक
flow
लगे,
होता है.
टेक अ ब्रीथ, डीप ब्रेथ, काम. कोई जल्दी नहीं है हमें, बट हाँ हमें जो बोलना है हमें माइंड सी इट्स आई एम प्रिपेयरिंग यू कि आप माइंड को देखो. मतलब आप वर्ड्स जो बोल रहे हो एंड माइंड में क्या आ रहा है, ट्राई टू कोरिलेट विद इट, कीप इट इन सिंक एंड ट्राई टू ओनली स्पीक व्हाट इज रेलेवेंट. इस टाइम पे क्या होगा, आपके माइंड में बहुत कुछ आएगा कि मैं ये भी
Yeah.
बोलता हूँ वो भी. यू हैव टू लर्न द आर्ट ऑफ कम्युनिकेशन, राइट. तो वो सीखना है हमें. रिपोर्ट तो मैं सबको सेंड कर दूंगी, आप सबको सेंड कर दोगे. रेको का फुल फॉर्म कोई गूगल कर लेगा, सीएमपी का फुल फॉर्म गूगल कर लेगा. पर्सपेक्टिव इसकी 10 मिनट दिए हैं आपको किसी ने अपने टाइम के, एंड वो कह रहा है भाई बता दे एचयूएल का क्या होगा, क्या करूं, अगले 6 महीने में इन्वेस्ट करूं या नहीं. यही पूछेगा ना कोई आपसे लेमन लैंग्वेज में. क्या बोलोगे? अब आपको ये पता चल गया कि यार जनवरी की रिपोर्ट है, दैट मीन्स 10 दिन पहले के ही प्राइसेस को लेके प्रोजेक्शंस करी हुई है ना. तो आप ये इन्फॉर्मेशन उसको दोगे कि रिपोर्ट रीसेंट है, पहली चीज. दूसरी चीज की अगर तुम आज इन्वेस्ट करते हो, 2400 रुपए का प्राइस चल रहा है, तो यू कैन एक्सपेक्ट इट टू गो अप टिल 2600 2800 लेट्स से इज द टारगेट प्राइस. तो थोड़ा सा वो समझना चाहेगा कि टारगेट प्राइस कैसे आया. पहली चीज, कैश फ्लो को देख के आया है या फिर कंपेरेबल कंपनीज को देख के आया है, राइट. सेकेंड क्या होगा, वो कहेगा कि इसको न्यूट्रल बोलने के लिए तुमने बाकी क्या क्या पैरामीटर्स कंसिडर करे, इनके कॉम्पिटिटर्स कौन है, ठीक है. और एक और चीज वो एडिशनली पूछेगा इसकी, तुमने एचयूएल को कंपेयर किससे करा है, निफ्टी 50 से या निफ्टी एफएमसीजी से, राइट. तो आप पहले मुझे चेक करके बताओ कि इसका बेंचमार्किंग कौन से इंडेक्स से हुआ है. निफ्टी से हुआ है, ठीक है. तो हमें समझ आ गया कि ब्रॉड मार्केट इंडेक्स को लिया है. अब अंडरस्टैंड फॉर एनीवन, और लेट्स से सी अगेन आई एम फोकसिंग ऑन द फैक्ट, नॉट फॉर यू शिवम, फॉर एवरीबडी, दैट अगर मुझे वैल्यूएशन में जाना है ना, तो कोई मुझे ये नहीं समझाएगा. वो आपसे एक्सपेक्ट करेंगे कि आपको ये आता ही है, बिकॉज इफ आई हैव टू डू एन इंडियन वैल्यूएशन तो ये चीजें मेरे को पता ही होनी चाहिए ना. तो जब मुझे कुछ चीज पता ही होनी चाहिए, तो आई हैव टू स्पेंड एटलीस्ट 2 months 3 months of dedicated time to understand all of this. So anyway, over to you Shivam, and just briefly important चीजों को identify करो from a report. Try to see what the key KPIs from an investor point of view can be. Right? Competitor हो गया, they want to know the competition, they want to know the projections, कब की रिपोर्ट है, कब तक का डेटा है, कैसे हुआ है, थोड़ा उस पे ज्यादा बात करने की कोशिश करो.
Got it. Got it. Just give me one moment. I'm going through it.
या टेक योर टाइम, एंड बाकी सब भी गो थ्रू करो. कोई वर्ड आता है, कोई सेंटेंस आता है, लेट्स डिस्कस. सो मुझे डिस्कस करना होगा, मैं आपसे पूछूंगी व्हाट इज सीएजीआर. यहाँ पे लिखा है कि वी एक्सपेक्ट HUL to deliver 7.2% revenue CAGR over FY 23-26 E. तो what does this mean? बताओ anyone? इसका एनालिसिस करो, क्या मतलब हुआ इसका सिंपल वर्ड्स में. क्या वो 7.2 कर चुका है डिलीवर या करने वाला है? इज इट अ फ्यूचर थिंग, इज इट अ प्रेजेंट और पास्ट, पहले ही आइडेंटिफाई करते हैं. तो क्या बोल रहा है, वी नाउ एक्सपेक्ट. तो जैसी वर्ड आ गया एक्सपेक्ट, दैट मीन्स दिस इज अ प्रोजेक्शन, राइट. तो हमें 7.2 से में ज्यादा खुश नहीं होना. वी वोंट बी लाइक वाओ 7.2 का रिटर्न मिल रहा है. नो, दे आर एक्सपेक्टिंग द रिटर्न और अ CAGR विच इज कंपाउंडेड एनुअल ग्रोथ रेट. तो हम यही रुक जाएंगे. हम पहले समझेंगे CAGR क्या होता है, तभी तो आगे समझ आएगा ना. तो फिर देन यू नो कि एवरेज रिटर्न्स भी होते हैं, हार्मोनिक रिटर्न्स भी होते हैं, CAGR भी होता है, तो कुछ तो डिफरेंस होगा ना एक एवरेज रिटर्न में और एक CAGR में, तभी यहाँ पे CAGR लिखा है। तो स्टेप बाय स्टेप अप्रोच, बट इट टेक्स टाइम, बट वेरी गुड अटेम्प्ट, ठीक है, गो अहेड। बट हाँ, थोड़ा देखो समझो, एंड आई अगेन रिक्वेस्ट everyone to participate and not just leave it on शिवम। वो कहेगा मेरा को बलि का बकरा क्यों बना दिया, इससे तो मैं प्रेजेंट ही नहीं करता। बट सबकी बारी आएगी, सबको करना है, दिस इज द बेस्ट वे टू लर्न, राइट?
हाँ नहीं, अब मैं ऐसा कुछ फील भी नहीं कर रहा हूँ।
No worries, I've still given you a clean chit in front of everyone. But क्योंकि लोग participate नहीं कर रहे हैं शिवम, so let me only take the lead for the next 5 minutes and ask everyone to explain these terms in the financial summary, because ठीक है, qualitative नहीं पता, quantitative में तो सबको पता होता है इतना कि अच्छा revenue क्या होता है, YOY क्या होता है, especially those with a background in this can help others. So yes, all of you quickly tell me YOY का full form.
Year on year.
Okay, EBITDA's full form.
Earning before interest, interest and taxes.
नहीं, मैंने EBITDA बोला ना।
EBITDA.
EBITDA.
Earning before interest, depreciation, taxes, and amortization.
करेक्ट, इसमें आपने जैसे बोला सही बोला गणेश, बट आइडियली ऐसे एबिटा नहीं लिखते, इट्स ऑलवेज एबिटा, सो इट्स EBITDA, DA एंड में आता है, ठीक है। DA एंड में क्यों आता है, क्योंकि जो एंड में आ रहा है उसको हटा दो, उसको बोलो बाय। तो जब एबिटा लिख रहे हैं तो नेक्स्ट चीज क्या माइनस होगी, लास्ट वाली चीज को पहले हटाते हैं, तो हम पहले डेप्रिसिएशन माइनस करते हैं, फिर इंटरेस्ट, फिर टैक्स। I know this is not holding true in case of I and T, because पहले इंटरेस्ट माइनस होता है, बट अंडरस्टैंड DA हमेशा एंड में आता है एबिटा के, इन जनरल सेंस। तो एबिटा क्या हुआ, अर्निंग्स बिफोर इंटरेस्ट, टैक्स, डेप्रिसिएशन एंड अमोर्टाइजेशन। अब आपको पता है कि रेवेन्यू भी लिखा है, एबिटा भी लिखा है, और रेवेन्यू इज नॉट इक्वल टू एबिटा। तो अब ये समझो कि इन दोनों चीजों को डिफरेंशिएट क्या कर रहा है, दोनों ही तो अर्निंग्स की बात कर रहे हैं ना। रेवेन्यू भी एक तरह से इनकम है, एबिटा इज अर्निंग्स बिफोर इंटरेस्ट, तो कुछ तो इन चीजों में डिफरेंस होगा ना। एनीवन हु नोज दिस?
COGS and operating expenses.
चलो आगे बढ़ते हैं, वेरी गुड, ऑन पॉइंट। COGS डायरेक्ट एक्सपेंसेस, ऑपरेटिंग एक्सपेंसेस माइनस करके एबिटा आ गया। अब नेक्स्ट चीज क्या माइनस करते हो आप एबिटा से?
डेप्री एंड अमोर्टाइजेशन।
ओके, अनदर क्वेश्चन, डेप्री अमोर्टाइजेशन में फर्क क्या है?
Depreciation is for tangible assets and amortization is for intangible assets.
गुडविल भी अमोर्टाइज होती होगी फिर, यस और नो? गुडविल भी तो इंटेंजिबल एसेट है ना, तो उसको भी अमोर्टाइज करते हैं,
राइट?
नहीं, goodwill is an asset.
एसेट तो है बट इंटेंजिबल एसेट है ना। गुडविल को क्या करते हैं बताओ, डेप्रिशिएट करते हैं, अमोर्टाइज करते हैं, या कुछ और ही करते हैं?
Goodwill impairment.
Yes. So goodwill is not amortized. Goodwill is tested for impairment every year. अब ये impairment कैसे डिफरेंट है amortization से, ये हमारा होमवर्क होता है। हर चीज हमें कोई नहीं बताएगा ना, आप समझते चलो एंड ट्राई टू नोट डाउन दीज पॉइंट्स कि मुझे पहले डेप्रिसिएशन अमोर्टाइजेशन को समझना है, उससे पहले मुझे समझना है कि रेवेन्यू को एबिटा से क्या डिफरेंशिएट कर रहा है। सो आई एम ग्रेजुअली टेकिंग यू टू द फॉर्मेट ऑफ एन इनकम स्टेटमेंट। ये इनकम स्टेटमेंट के ही फॉर्मेट में लिखा है। सो अनदर वैल्यू एडिशन इज, जब भी आप एक रिपोर्ट प्रिपेयर करते हो या कोई भी काइंड ऑफ एनालिसिस करते हो, आप एक मेथड फॉलो करते हो, राइट? आप एक सिस्टमैटिक वे में जा रहे हो। एबिटा रेवेन्यू से पहले नहीं लिखा, एबिटा बाद में लिखा है, मार्जिन बाद में लिखे हैं, फिर ईपीएस लिखा है। वो ईपीएस टॉप पे भी लिख सकता था, बट ईपीएस टॉप पे क्यों नहीं लिखा? बिकॉज इट्स अ लाइन आइटम आफ्टर एबिटा in our financials. So even if you don't have a background in finance, you can start reading the reports and start understanding and realizing or jot down कि अच्छा मैंने तो रेवेन्यू पहले देखा था, फिर एबिटा लिखा था, तो रेवेन्यू आना भी पहले ही चाहिए इन अ फाइनेंशियल स्टेटमेंट। तो अंडरस्टैंड, अगर ये भी, अगर एक इतना बड़ा ब्रोकर ये सिक्योरिटीज अगर इस फॉर्मेट में लिख रहा है, सो अंडरस्टैंड द इम्पोर्टेंस ऑफ क्रोनोलॉजी इन फाइनेंस। व्हेन आई से अंडरस्टैंड द क्रोनोलॉजी, व्हाट डू आई मीन? अंडरस्टैंड द अकाउंटिंग प्रोसेस। बिकॉज आप ये तो समझ गए कि फाइनेंशियल्स में कौन सी चीज कैसे लिखनी है, बट फिर मैं आपसे दोबारा पूछूं कि फाइनेंशियल्स तक कैसे पहुंचे भाई? फाइनेंशियल स्टेटमेंट्स बनाए कब, क्यों बनाए, कैसे बनाया, कब बनाया, सब पता होना चाहिए। कोई आपको बोल नहीं रहा कि उसको आप चीजें लिखो रिपोर्ट में, but this is a backstory of how you have arrived till this point, and that is why I stress upon a basic understanding of accounting. But accounting, if you look at the debit credit, I think Shivam, you were getting a little messed up there ना कि golden rules समझ नहीं आ रहे हैं,
थोड़ा सा हाँ.
तो वो जाने ही नहीं है उस स्टोरी पे. बस अभी के लिए मैंने आपको क्या बोला, आई नो आई हैव प्रोवाइडेड यू द बुक, आई वांटेड यू टू रीड इट, बट जो चीज समझ नहीं आ रही है आई एम हियर फॉर दैट. डाउट क्लियरिंग करेंगे, बट अभी आप ये समझ के चलो कि अच्छा मुझे वो समझ नहीं आया बट मुझे ये समझ आ गया. पहले मेरे को एक कुछ एंट्रीज पास करनी होती है, फिर मुझे एक समरी बनानी होती है, फिर मुझे एक टेबल बनानी है जिसमें सारी समरीज का खाता लिखा है. हो गया ये चीज. अब जब वो मैच हो गया तो मतलब सारी ट्रांजैक्शंस या तो आई या गई, या मैंने किसी को पे किया, किसी से लेना है, जो भी करना है, मतलब मैच हो गया. जिससे लेना था, जिससे देना था, प्लस जो बैलेंस बचा सब है. जब चीजें मैच हो गई, यू स्टार्ट प्रिपेयरिंग द फाइनेंशियल्स, राइट. फाइनेंशियल्स बनाना स्टार्ट कर रहे हैं. अब वो फाइनेंशियल्स में गलतियां भी होंगी, तो एक ऑडिटर चाहिए जो बैठ के बोले भाई ये गलत है. तो अगर आपको अपनी कंपनीज का ऑडिट करवाना है, देन यू हैव टू ऑल्सो पब्लिश इट. मेक सेंस ना. आप इतनी मेहनत कर रहे हो, आप एक ऑडिटर को, या केपीएमजी बैठा है, ईवाई बैठा है, ये कौन, हु आर दीज बिग फोर्स? दे स्टार्टेड एज ऑडिटर्स ना. सीए फर्म्स जो होती हैं वो क्या करती हैं, ऑडिट करती हैं किसी का फाइनेंशियल्स. ऑडिट कर क्यों करती है? उनको पैसा मिल रहा है. सो सिंपली सोचो, आई एम नॉट गोइंग इनटू द टेक्निकल्स, आई एम सेइंग कोई आपसे पैसा ले रहा है, आप कह रहे हो भाई इसने मुझसे इतने पैसे लिए ऑडिट करने के, तो मैं पब्लिश ही कर देता हूँ लोगों के लिए, right? So a public company is authorized to publish its financials for the end users. तो accounting में आपको like book में आप देखोगे, you will get a technical definition of internal users, external users. but आप समझने बैठोगे तो you understand what an external user is, what an internal user is. आप कौन हुए? You are an external user ना. आप कंपनी के बाहर बैठ के, आप HUL के एम्प्लॉय तो नहीं हो, आप HUL के बाहर बैठ के देख रहे हो वो क्या कर रहा है. आपको क्या अश्योरिटी है कि वो जो लिख रहा है वही कर रहा है? नहीं पता ना. तभी तो एक एक्सटर्नल ऑडिटर बैठा है उसको वेरीफाई करने के लिए. तो आपका काम वेरीफाई करने का नहीं है. यू आर नॉट द ऑडिटर, यू आर समवन हु इज रिलाइंग ऑन द सब्जेक्टिव जजमेंट ऑफ द ऑडिटर. व्हाट डू आई मीन बाय दिस स्टेटमेंट? एनीवन? It's very important to understand before we proceed ahead कि I am not an auditor, but I'm relying on the analysis of an audit or the statements of the auditor, which means if I'm a finance analyst, if I'm a financial analyst, I'm a valuation consultant, I'm into investment banking, I'm into any aspect of finance, what is the starting point or what is already known to you? Tell me. बताओ जो भी समझ आया. फाइनेंस वालों को बेनिफिट क्या होता है कि उनको ऑडिटेड फाइनेंशियल्स अवेलेबल है, तो दे डोंट हैव टू गो एंड अप्लाई द इंड AS, IFRS, US GAAP टू reconcile the financial statements. Anyone who knows what reconciliation means? पढ़ा होगा सबने ये वर्ड रिकॉन. क्या होता है रिकंसिलिएशन? इंग्लिश वर्ड मीनिंग क्या है रिकंसिलिएशन का? फॉरगेट अबाउट अकाउंटिंग के टर्म्स में, व्हाट इज रिकॉन?
Two things agreement with each other.
Correct, right. LHS is equal to RHS. बस सिंपल. तो रिकॉन करने का काम भी अगर आप करने बैठ गए तो एनालाइज कौन करेगा डेटा को, राइट? सो समझो इस बात को कि जब मुझे एक फ्यूचर में एक जॉब करनी है, या मुझे मूव करना है फ्रॉम माय एग्जिस्टिंग रोल टू अ रोल, आई कांट डू एवरीथिंग, एंड इफ आई कांट डू एवरीथिंग आई डोंट नीड टू नो एवरीथिंग. And that is why I always suggest everybody to have a specific resume which talks about your specific interest. या तो आप एक evaluator हो सकते हो, या आप एक appraiser हो सकते हो, या आप एक auditor हो सकते हो, या फिर आप एक analyzer हो सकते हो. आप इनके अलावा कुछ नहीं कर सकते. But you can't play the part of even two of these people. You have to choose one. अब वो choose कैसे करोगे? ये सब चीजें देख के कि भाई मुझे तो analyze करना पसंद है, मैं ये कैसे आया, क्या आया, मैं ये नहीं कर सकता. तो if you are sure कि मैं नंबर्स को एक्सेल में कैलकुलेट करके प्लस माइनस का फॉर्मूला लगा के उनका नेचर समझ के नहीं कर सकता, देन यू आर अ फाइनेंस पर्सन. इफ यू आर इनटू this is an operating item, this is a non-operating item, this is an expense, this is a capitalized expense, वो सब चीजें करनी है, then you're more on a chartered accountancy, company secretary, ACCA kind of a background. Although we also have people who have done their CA, who are a chartered accountant already doing valuations, right? But उनका क्या होता है कि then they have this they have this curiosity to check the audit also. तो वो थोड़ा मेसअप हो जाता है वहां पे कि मतलब हम बैकग्राउंड भी चेक कर ले, हमें लग रहा है ये ऑपरेटिंग नहीं था तो क्यों ऐड करा है. तो यू डोंट वांट टू गेट इनटू ऑल दोस कॉम्प्लेक्सिटीज, राइट? यू जस्ट वांट टू स्टार्ट फाइंडिंग द फाइनेंशियल्स. तो लेस नॉलेज इज एक्चुअली इंपॉर्टेंट. मैं तो खुद कहती हूँ कि अगर हमारी कंपनी में कोई इंजीनियर आ गया जिसको वैल्यूएशन का वी नहीं आता, आई एम मोर देन हैप्पी टू हैव दैट पर्सन वर्किंग विद मी, बिकॉज उसके लिए इट्स नॉट अबाउट अनलर्निंग समथिंग एंड देन लर्निंग अगेन. फॉर ऑल ऑफ अस इट्स अबाउट वी हैव आवर ओन सेट स्टैंडर्ड्स. सो वी नो कि हमें अनलर्न करना पड़ेगा, फिर लर्न करना पड़ेगा. फिर हम चैलेंज करते हैं मैनेजर को, नहीं हमने तो ऐसे नहीं सीखा, आप गलत बता रहे हो. तो वो कहेगा जो सीखा है वो कर लो, बट वो होता नहीं है ना प्रैक्टिकली. यही तो गैप है. So
I have one question for Shivam or anybody that can help me. So I'm a person sitting with money, and like Shivam said, I want to invest some money in HUL. And obviously the way we started, my task was to ask Shivam or any other good analyst or equity researcher कि HUL में मैं पैसा लगाऊं या ना लगाऊं. तो एज एन इन्वेस्टर मेरे पास टाइम तो है नहीं. आई लुक एट टेलीविजन, आई लुक एट अदर सोर्सेज. वन ऑफ माय फ्रेंड्स टोल्ड मी, लेट्स से यहाँ पर HUL की रिपोर्ट हैज बीन गिवन बाय यस बैंक. नाउ RBI, Reserve Bank of India, had taken control of the bank in March 2020. Like because Yes Bank was facing a lot of governance issues. So
Right.
RBI took control of the bank, imposed a moratorium, limited customer withdrawals, and Yes Bank went through a lot of what do you call restructuring plan, which involved a bailout by the consortium of banks.
Hmm.
All the shareholders experienced a significant loss of value. Now the same now if I were if I'm an investor sitting with Shivam, I'll say आपका ये मैथ एबिटा टीडीए एफडीए एमडीए ऑल ये बड़े बड़े मैथमेटिक्स है, आपका बड़ा अच्छा है. CAGR ये सारी मैथ है, ये आप पढ़ाई करते हैं, आपको 3 वर्षों का अनुभव भी है. पर अगर how can I trust Yes Bank when it was facing governance issues in and controversies in 2020, and are those controversies over? Because as an investor मेरे को दो बातें सिंपल सी मालूम है कि if I'm trusting Yes Bank for HUL or anything else, first of all I must have the source credibility. उसका कितना credible source है? Is it a reliable financial institution? Second, I look at is if it has what is the expertise of the analysts that were involved in preparation of the report? What are their qualification? What is their experience? What is their industry knowledge? Third thing I look at is what was the research methodology used by Yes Bank to evaluate? What is the transparency in their approach? Do they have any conflict of interest? हो सकता है कि Yes Bank ने बहुत सारा पैसा HUL में लगाया हुआ हो. Have they disclosed their relationship with HUL or its competitors? हो सकता है वो Yes Bank HUL के सारे competitors से चिढ़ता हो and they want money to be put in um, Yes Bank. Then have I done any other जो भी हमारी findings हैं Yes Bank की, have I compared it with any other analyst or institution? I mean, is there a consensus between what Yes Bank is publishing about HUL versus somebody else that is publishing about HUL? Do the reports match so that I can have more confidence? Those are the things. If I was sitting with you as an investor, मैं आपसे तुरंत पूछता कि भैया मुझे तो ये साधारण भाषा में समझाओ, आप लोग फाइनेंस के गुरुज हो, मेरे पास सिर्फ पैसा है, मैं ज्ञान नहीं है मेरे पास, आप लोग मुझे ज्ञान दो, लेकिन मेरी ये समस्याएं चिंताएं हैं. You don't have to answer this question here. This is something that you have to think about when you're presenting reports to somebody, especially an investor like myself.
Yeah, right.
And that is why we have picked up one report in the starting. But then again, I think I've already told you all, we cannot rely on one source of information. We can always go back and check the financials from the annual reports. As far as the historicals are concerned, we can see what the other analysts are providing for HUL. And this kind of an analysis in a more corporate setup, we call it as a consensus estimates. So we either call it consensus estimates or we call it plausibility analysis. Like just giving you the technical terms they use, to check if you have an understanding of doing the same research for various brokers. फॉर नाउ एक ही रिपोर्ट पढ़ लें तो उतना बहुत है ना समझने के पर्सपेक्टिव से, बट ऑब्वियसली बात है आप एक रिपोर्ट पर रिलाई तो नहीं कर सकते. दैट आई वुड ऑल्सो सजेस्ट यू, एंड वेरी करेक्टली मेंशन, कोई भी इन्वेस्टर सिर्फ एक रिपोर्ट पे रिलाई करके नहीं ले सकता. But then we are in the process of learning, so by the time we've completed a few things, we'll see कि हम कहाँ stand कर रहे हैं, हम कितनी reports को correlate कर पा रहे हैं, right? Great. So Shivam, another 5 minutes, just walk us through whatever is the understanding. ठीक है?
Right. I hope I'm audible.
Yes, you are.
Okay. I'm just taking a minute.
So how much is the promoter holding in HUL?
It's 61.9%.
Almost 62%. Has this changed over years?
That data I haven't looked at.
Do you think that will make sense? Should we even look at such a data or not?
We should, yes.
Should, right? So one of the points I would have given you as far as a company analysis is concerned, okay? So the next time, or maybe after the call, everyone, abhi Shivam Bali ka bakra hai, doesn't mean that aap logo ki chance nahi aayegi. Everyone who has done this exercise, this assignment, has to give me a background also. ठीक है, इसीलिए मैंने आपको 1 वीक दिया था फॉर द असाइनमेंट. अब समझ आ रही है 1 हफ्ता क्यों लगेगा इसमें, है ना? क्योंकि हर चीज को चैलेंज किया जा सकता है. मैंने आपसे पूछा प्राइस कहाँ से लेके आओगे, फिर मैं पूछ रही प्रमोटर होल्डिंग अगर 62% है तो वाज इट ऑलवेज 62%? दिस इज एज ऑफ जून 23 एंड, लिखा है ना वहां पे ब्रैकेट में नीचे शेयर होल्डर के टाइम.
हाँ.
तो ये 23 जून का वो है डेटा है, बट आप तो जनवरी में बैठे हो, तो आप देखो कि पुराना और 2-3 साल में क्या रहा है. एंड यू कैन अगेन रिलाई ऑन द सेम सोर्सेज, टिकर टेप, तिजोरी, मनी कंट्रोल, याहू फाइनेंस एंड ऑल ऑफ दोस थिंग्स. इट्स नॉट दैट डिफिकल्ट, राइट? ठीक है
Right.
शिवम, सो व्हाटएवर, या गो अहेड.
So typically if we see कि yes securities का क्या view है, उन्होंने बताया कि there is a slower improvement in UVG. I am not sure if UVG is one of the product of HUL because I haven't gone through the annual report. So in brief, they are saying कि compared to previous years, अभी growth थोड़ा slow है in the past 2-3 years because of low volumes and less sales. But management expects कि gradually it will recover in the near term. So based on the valuation, the models and the data and the analysis that the Yes Securities have done, they have estimated that in the upcoming year, which is financial year 2023, estimated till 2026, they expect EBITDA margins to improve slightly, and they would also along with that, they would also expect the gross margin be improved. That is their view in brief.
And what are the competitors they've considered? Have they done a comparable company analysis?
I'm not. I don't think they have done it here. Mostly, उन्होंने company focus analysis ही किया है.
Just go up. Okay, ठीक है.
Mostly,
Scroll down.
इन्होंने company focus analysis ही किया है.
अरे भाई शिवम जी, HUL owns several popular brands: Dove, Lux, Lifebuoy, Surf, Excel, Rin, Pond, Sunsilk, Brook Bond, Lipton Chai. ये
They
सारे
are not competitors.
personal care products, cleaning agents, इतने सारे तो प्रोडक्ट हैं HUL के. So how
हाँ.
आप अगर मेरे सामने, मैं इन्वेस्टर हूँ और आप मुझसे अगर हाफ बेक नॉलेज लेके, हाफ आपका प्रिपरेशन पूरा नहीं है, आप मेरे पास आ गए और मैं आपसे पूछता हूँ कि भाई मुझे बताइए कि मेरे पास $50,000 हैं जो कि मुझे एक्चुअल में लगाना है, लगाऊं या नहीं लगाऊं, हाँ या ना? ओवर अ फोन कॉल आई एम आस्किंग यू दिस क्वेश्चन, एंड आई डोंट थिंक यू आर गिविंग मी कॉन्फिडेंस इनफ कि आपकी बातों को मैं विश्वास कर सकूं।
कर लेगा वो सब. Give him 2 minutes and he'll come back and tell you a good strategy also. I'm sure, right, Shivam?
नहीं, मैं तो जानबूझ के, it is my role as an external examiner slash observer slash investor to give you these stresses so that you come out of it. You have to learn. So slowly and gradually you will learn with Kavya how to come out of these traps.
Oh,
To
that's true.
to give out that answer in reality, then मुझे खुद बैठ के वो कंपनी का पूरा डीप डाउन लेवल पे एनालिसिस करना होगा, मॉडल्स बनाने होंगे, वैल्यूएशन करना होगा.
तो एक
Only
हफ्ते
then
का
I
टाइम
would be
मिला
able
था,
to answer.
एक हफ्ते के टाइम पे और क्या कर रहे थे? कट पेस्ट कॉपी फ्रॉम टेलीग्राम?
I don't know valuation and financial modeling, to be honest.
तो कोई बात नहीं, लेकिन फिर भी आप the only reason I picked you up as a बलि का बकरा is because you were suggesting Telegram. जाओ वहां पे 50 लोगों की रिपोर्ट है, you can download a report and see that, and I think Telegram is one of the worst sources to get your education from.
Yeah, I just find the report. That's it.
ठीक है, never mind, you learn with time, man. It's okay.
Yeah. Appreciate the feedback.
So no shortcuts in life. Hard work is the key. But ठीक है, I understand. I'm more of a little I'm more of a flexible mentor, and Arun is always pulling your ears because he knows the best of how industry people are placed. Nobody is going to talk you with such a friendly tone or with this understanding attitude. Even when we deal with clients, there are people of all sorts of kind, who come and say bad words, and then we are like, no, let me prove myself, and then no, we can't, right? So they need what they need. So I'm happy that you're also learning that side of dealing with clients. Very good. It's very important to be able to stay resilient, that okay, I'll get back, but then they'll be like, no, tell me right now. So you'll have to convince them, and that is what he was doing. Maybe he was trying, so you convince him that okay, I did something, but I need more, give me a few days. But anyway, I'm very sure Shivam will have
मैं
that
तो
attitude
पहले ही बोल दिया कि भाई शिवम, तेरा यस बैंक तो 2 साल पहले खुद ही डावाडोल था, उसको तो गवर्नमेंट ने बचाया. RBI had to take control over that. So how do I even trust whatever you are? Have you been paid by Yes Bank to say all this? Because analysts do get paid by banks. By all the analysts are wined and dined by corporate by the right entities, by lobbies to say good things about them. तो हो सकता है तूने
yeah.
रिपोर्ट खा पी के बनाई हो, मुझे क्या मालूम.
हाँ, ये तो बहुत होता है मार्केट में.
तो ये है ना, डिप्लोमेटिकली
और
करना पड़ता है. यू हैव टू
हाँ,
कन्विंस द
दूसरी
क्लाइंट दैट.
चीज बहुत ही मतलब आई हैड टू गो थ्रू ऑल द एनुअल रिपोर्ट्स पिछले 5 साल 10 साल के, और कंपनी के कॉन कॉल्स एंड ऑल पिछले 5-10 साल के पढ़ने होंगे इन ऑर्डर टू फॉर्म एन
Correct.
ओपिनियन और व्यू अबाउट द कंपनी की एग्जैक्टली कंपनी कैसा कर रही है, क्या है क्या नहीं है,
चलो,
रिपोर्ट सच बोल रहा है कि
you're on the
नहीं.
right path, Shivam. So as Kavya pointed out, I'm only giving you a customer standpoint because customer ना finance समझता है, ना macro economist, ना macro. वो सेठ है,
हाँ,
बैठा है, बोला है 50,000 का गल्ला मेरे पास है, बिडू किधर लगाने का है, ऐसा he'll talk to you in this language.
ऐसे ही बोलते हैं वो मार्केट में. तो मेरे को बस इतना पता क्यों लगाने का है पैसा, मेरे को बस
हाँ,
वही
हाँ.
जानना है. मुझे
करेक्ट.
तेरा
सो
एबिटा नहीं जानना है.
शॉर्ट एंड
Literally
क्रिस्प,
ऐसे
बट
बोलते हैं.
फाउंडेशन स्ट्रॉन्ग होगी ना तो हैंडल कर लेंगे क्लाइंट को भी. खुद में कॉन्फिडेंस होगा तो, है ना. सो कॉन्फिडेंस बिल्डिंग कर रहे हैं एंड खुद को बता रहे हैं कि हमें इनफ आता है, क्या बोलना है इन दैट 5 minutes वो सीखना पड़ेगा. बट वेरी गुड
तो
अटेम्प्ट.
हाँ.
उस हिसाब से
I-
ठीक है. बट एक चीज और बोलनी है मुझे, आई देन लेट यू स्पीक. थोड़ा सा मैं ज्यादा एक्सपेक्ट कर रही थी, सबसे कर रही हूँ अभी भी, बिकॉज एक हफ्ता बहुत होता है फॉर यू टू अंडरस्टैंड इन एंड आउट अबाउट द फर्म. एंड दिस वाज नॉट द ओनली थिंग. मैंने इसके अलावा तो बहुत कुछ मेजर नहीं दिया है ना आपको टास्क. यही एक टास्क था, और एक था कि अपनी फेवरेट कंपनी के बारे में बताओ. तो वो इतना मेजर मुझे नहीं लगता इज अ पॉइंट टू बी डिस्कस्ड. बट येस, दिस वाज समथिंग, यू नो take another 2-3 days, but और अच्छा refine करना अपना analysis is what I expect.
कुछ एक direction दे सकते हैं, like in which direction to look for this information. I think latest developments और future plans ये एक चीज तो matter करेगा ही, plus company का USP और moat है. I can talk about that.
So okay, so let's say I'm just giving an example कि मुझे ये report present करनी है. ठीक है, मैंने Yes Bank से करी, अभी मैंने बाकी brokers को नहीं देखा. I'll start with what HUL is, you know. This goes without saying. मतलब मैं बोलूँगी okay, HUL is Hindustan Unilever. You might have heard, used a lot of products of HUL. तो पहले आप एक brand को place करते हो किसी क्लाइंट या कस्टमर के माइंडसेट में. जब आप कॉर्पोरेट में काम करोगे सेटअप ही अलग है वहां पे, तो यू आर लाइक जस्ट डूइंग व्हाट द कंपनी हैज आस्क्ड यू टू डू. बट इन जनरल यू हैव टू बिकम अ मार्केटर, अ कंसल्टेंट. तो कंसल्टेंट इज ऑलवेज समवन हु इज एबल टू प्लेस दैट प्रोडक्ट इन द माइंड ऑफ द कंज्यूमर, एंड यू आर नॉट डूइंग द वर्क ऑन द बिहाफ ऑफ द HUL कि आप किसी को बोल रहे हो कि मतलब HUL ही ले लो बिकॉज वो मेरा क्लाइंट है. ऐसा नहीं कर रहे ना आप. यू जस्ट टेलिंग देम व्हाट यू हैव रिसर्च्ड ऑन. So start with the products and services, start with the market share of the company कि अभी इतना market share है. I was expecting you to talk about FMCG में या फिर Nifty 50 में उसका कितना weightage है. How much impact does HUL create to the market scenario? Because at the end, an investor would be buying the shares of HUL. This is a share research. This is not an assets and liability research. राइट. शेयर्स के बेसिस पे करे तो इवेंचुअली मैं उसके शेयर्स खरीद रही हूँ. तो मार्केट सिनेरियो क्या है HUL का, उसमें शायद मेरे को ज्यादा इंटरेस्ट होगा. एट द सेम टाइम बिकॉज यू आर द बेस्ट पर्सन टू गाइड मी ऑन द फाइनेंशियल्स, I just want to know in 2 minutes, it's a fundamentally weak entity, medium entity, strong entity. This is the reason revenue बढ़ रहा है but growth rate down जा रहा है, EBITDA margins are falling. This is the reason. Reason is उनका competitor उनसे better perform कर गया इस साल में, ये हो गया. So everything you do in like 15 days or 20 days, whatever, has to be spoken in 5 minutes. So आप समझ रहे हो the choice of words.
Understood.
So the next time you present, Shivam, take another report, take another company, but first 2 minutes, be very confident and speak about that. मैंने तो ना ये देखा है कि इनकी जो products and services हैं वो ये हैं, and additionally I'll give you another information. The products and services they sell, they are excelling in their home care products. They're excelling in their personal care products. Because if I show you the revenue breakup clearly depicts that 65% of the revenue is coming from this division. So इस type के statements is what I expect. Because
Got
report तो मुझे दिख रही है, but show me an additional working. अभी मैंने आपको क्या बोला था कि इसमें से कोई भी random 10 words ढूंढो जो आपके लिए नए हैं. So I'll obviously see the assignment, come back to you on this, and tomorrow also we are having another class on this. Abhi wo tomorrow can be a doubt session, but today I hope you took it very constructively. You understand क्या expectation है, right?
Got it.
ठीक है.
इसके लिए तो बहुत पढ़ना पड़ेगा.
but तभी हम यहाँ पे आए हैं, पढ़ने के लिए आए हैं ना. हो जाएगा. It takes time. No worries. Thank you, Shiva. Thank you. You can stop presenting. I want to call Prachi. Prachi, are you there? Okay. Bharat.
Prachi is there, I guess. I mean, in the call.
Prachi, can you hear me? Can you unmute and speak? देखो, I don't know for what reason there is this fear या ऐसा कुछ हो सकता है, but be open. Be open to your challenges, be open to your achievements. बोलो. Because आज मैंने अगर randomly सबको बुलाया है, it's for your practice. So I want anyone apart from Shivam to speak on whoever has worked on this task. Aarti, are you there?
Yes, Kavya, I'm there. I will present my screen.
Great.
However, I'm still learning, so please do correct
No
me
problem.
whenever I'm
Definitely. And yeah, wonderful. Awesome. Let's hear from you. And again, a brief 2-minute introduction and then you proceed. Try to mention anything that might not be visible, but as a general thing about the firm. And before you start with the report, I want to know your answer to which company is your favorite and why.
Okay.
I'll also open
So
your
the
assignment.
company, sure. One moment.
So while Aarti is bringing it up, her favorite company, On Shivam's presentation, I have the comment that I have decided as an investor to invest in Procter and Gamble or Nestle or Colgate Palmolive or ITC Limited or Dabur because I decided not to invest with the HUL.
Okay, so we got a decision. Now the
मतलब
next step is
मतलब
Shivam.
उसके सारे काउंटर्स को मैंने नेम कर दिया प्रॉक्टर गैम्बल नेस्ले कॉलगेट पामोलिव आईटीसी एंड डाबर ये सारे काउंटर्स में पैसे लगाऊंगा एचयूएल में नहीं लगाऊंगा बिकॉज बिकॉज माय एनालिस्ट ही वाज गुड बट ही वाज नॉट एबल टू कन्विंस मी एज अ इन्वेस्टर
That's
बट
correct. And
डाबर वाले ने मुझे कन्विंस किया प्रॉक्टर एंड गैम्बल वाले ने मुझे कन्विंस किया पामोलिव और आईटीसी ने मुझे कन्विंस किया इसलिए मैं उनके साथ पैसे लगाऊंगा
सही है. On the basis of the presentation, this analysis is correct. को आपकी जगह कोई भी होता वो ये कहता, but then I would have also asked कि मैं किस में कितना लगाऊं, मुझे ये भी जानना है. तो उसके लिए I should be able to come back to Shivam and all of you guys, right?
Arey Kavya,
So,
you know that we need not take this thing so seriously.
no,
I'm
yeah,
just trying to be like Kavya, like light-hearted communication, so that everybody feels comfortable. Ki we have to deal with pros and cons of. We have to understand all the sides. तो थोड़ा हम जो हमें समय मिलेगा उसमें हम पढ़ के we have to make we have to own the customer. We have to, if Shivam talk to me like with confidence and conviction कि भाई आप इसी में लगाओ क्योंकि the XYZ are the factors, competition ये है, acquisition strategy ये है, brand strategy ये है और इसके जो financial data वो EBITDA, EBITDA और TB सब जो वो सब ये है तो जाके मुझे लगता है मतलब आई वांटेड टू सी कन्विक्शन ऑन द फेस ऑफ शिवम कि मैं जिससे बात कर रहा हूँ उसका चेहरा कैसा दिख रहा है मुझे बताते वक्त
right,
दैट्स ऑल
correct. Yeah, that's a very good path ahead for you to focus on, and I'm sure he will. Thumbs up. Great. Thank you, Varun. Thanks. Yes, Aarti.
Yes, so the company that I've selected is the Indian Railway Finance Corporation. Uh, this particular stock has been in the limelight in the recent past because the railway sector has been growing tremendously since the last year. We see that the government of India has allocated about 2.400 crores or so, and out of which it was able to utilize 80% of it, and it's still for the 2024 also it has set aside a lot of budget to develop the railway network, basically the infrastructure. And one such company in the limelight is the IRFC, which actually funds for these infrastructure projects in the railways. And since it provides its services directly to the Ministry of Railways, it does not have to pay any tax. It's completely tax exempt. And the cost plus model is what is attractive. It basically has very low overheads and has great growth potential. So this is what I thought was the competitive advantage that it has, the moat.
And can you just name a few sources of information for this? Like, what all did you look at while analyzing the same?
I actually looked up the open sources on Google, the newspaper editions and all that, and also the company website.
Okay, right. Company website. Additionally, just a suggestion because you've already started with a bit of a research about it. Also, talk a little about the financial performance the next time we speak. Okay.
Sure, noted.
Right. Okay. Now let's come back to the industry report you've downloaded. I mean, the equity report. Let's present that and let's start with a similar discussion. Yes,
Yeah,
go ahead.
one minute. Let me share my screen.
Okay, apart from Aarti and Shivam who've already presented or are presenting, anyone, any questions at this stage for me or for them, for anything? Let me know in the chat if there are questions and let's all attention on the screen, everyone. Yeah.
So the report that I've downloaded is from the Keynote Capitals. I downloaded the report for IDFC First Bank, which is the infrastructure development finance company. The market, the weightage that it has on NSE is not so much as HDFC, but it still has growth potential. So as we see, the current market price as of 23rd January was 82. And we see the face value here as 10. So basically, when it was first issued, the face value, the price of the stock was 10 rupees, but now it is trading almost 8 times of that. The recommendation that is provided by the analyst here is buy, because of certain factors like the cost to income ratio and the asset quality. When we come to banking companies, there are the ratios that we consider are a little bit different, which is why I thought I will pick up this report. So for example, we see the CASA ratio. CASA is basically the current accounts to saving account ratio. And the more it is, the better it is, because you get a lot of interest on these, but sorry, you do not have to pay a lot of interest on these, but while lending the amount, you can charge a lot of interest. That's what the banks majorly do. So CASA is one of the key components that they've considered here. And also the asset quality is good because the PCR ratio, sorry, yeah, so it has provided a provision of 95%. So basically any bad debt that they have this much amount of provision. So it is a safe line for them. However, the cost to income ratio remains high because they are investing continuously in new products and also expanding their branches, which is not so much of a negative thing. The cost to income is bad if it is certainly expenses, but they are spending in order to expand their business. This is what I understood, Kavya. And these are like highly technical terms. Am I audible?
Yeah,
Yes.
I mean, good attempt, Arti, considering that, you're slowly picking up. But another 2-3 minutes, maybe spend, zoom your screen, let others see, let them contribute on their understanding. So just zoom a bit if possible, because it's very, very small font for me as well. Right. What is MCAP?
The market capitalization.
Good. Okay. So, how do you think a bank earns? This is open for all. What is the income for a bank?
Interests.
Is that all?
Interest lending.
Interest on lending. Okay.
Interest on investments that they do in the market.
Okay. Think. What else is a revenue for the bank? Acha, let me reframe. Not revenue. I want to know what is an income to the bank, by which I mean subtract their expenses. So generally, tell me from two standpoints. First, bank कैसे कमाता है, and second, bank के लिए खर्चा क्या है? How would it manage its funds? Liquidity कैसे होती है बैंक में maintain? So tell me, what is a bank supposed to pay, and what is a bank supposed to receive? Normal sense. Yeah.
Banks need to pay interest on the deposits it gets, and it will receive interest on the loans that it gives out. So the difference is what they earn.
That's correct. Very good. I see some people in the chat also mentioning the same thing. Interest, the banks might be expected to put some reserves with the RBI, or they might be, or the RBI can also borrow funds from the bank. So you need to understand before. So again, very good, Aarti, that you're starting. But again, as I suggested, Shivam, मैं
Spread
आपको भी
rate.
ये बोलूंगी. Sorry, I
That is something called spread rate, I'm saying.
right. But again, I didn't want to introduce such tough terms. But good point. वो भी हम देखते हैं. But at the same time, my objective here is to tell you that before you start with anything, read about the industry. Read about that IDFC is working in the banking sector. Correct? So banking कैसे work करता है? What is the structure? What is the business model of a banking sector? आती वो after the session ends, आप थोड़ा उस पे focus करोगे. And Shivam, आप थोड़ा सा, as I said, backtrack on the financials and see. ठीक है? Right. Continue, dear. 2 3 minutes? Or kuch, anything you observe you want to share with everybody? Okay, stop here. Okay. Again, the benchmark index is?
Nifty.
So you mentioned that Nifty may IDFC First Bank does not have a lot of weightage.
Right.
So at this stage, we should also be able to understand if it will impact the performance in the market or not. Right.
Yes.
And two points that you need to know at this point. First, how much weightage does it have in the Nifty 50? Does it have weightage or not? Second, how much weightage does Nifty First Bank has in the banking sector? So Nifty, so financial services, Nifty bank. तो बैंक निफ्टी होता है, बैंक निफ्टी इज द इंडेक्स, उसमें हम देखेंगे कि आईडीएफसी फर्स्ट बैंक का क्या वेटेज है. सिमिलर प्रोसेस वी सॉ लास्ट टाइम एनएससी's वेबसाइट. ठीक है, जस्ट स्क्रॉल डाउन स्लोली. व्हाट इज एफआईआई डीआईआईs?
Foreign institutional investors.
And DIIs are domestic.
Right.
ठीक है. Promoter holding पे what is your observation? Just go up.
Yeah, so it has been increased. It's an increasing trend, which is a positive sign.
Are you sure?
I'm not very sure. Can you correct if I'm wrong, please?
So these are 23 figures.
Yes.
Where is December mentioned?
Oh, okay. Yes. I've been reading the other way.
No problem. So now tell me, what is your analysis of this? Reduce हुआ है slightly?
Yes.
If we just, if we keep everything constant and just look at the shareholding pattern, so basis shareholding pattern, what do you suggest about the firm? Fundamentally good or fundamentally bad? What is it? अच्छा point है ये गलत point है?
For promoters, maybe it's not that good.
Yeah, it's not taken as a very good fundamental factor if the promoters are reducing their stake with the firm.
Right.
Now, additional question, not to you, Aarti, again to everybody. What is the importance of having more more holding in a business? Like, why do you think more shareholding pattern by a promoter is a positive sign? Okay, what is the basis?
So promoter has its own skin in the game.
One of the reason is promoters is showing like reliability on the company.
Responsibility, accountability, reliability, right? So a person who's responsible, a person who's reliable and accountable, if he is not very sure and reducing his own stake, as our reasoning mind tells us that no, he is only not confident, तो मैं कैसे हो सकता हूँ, because उसको पता है अंदर बाहर क्या हो रहा है मुझसे ज्यादा, है ना? So it's taken as a general point, but again we cross verify this with a lot of other factors. Again, or most of them can be financials, most of them would not be financials. So that is the objective, right? Again, I want to point out, देखो यहाँ पे क्या लिखा है in the last line, just above improvement in asset quality. Can you highlight that, Aarti? Going forward, the management is guiding to grow the deposit at 25% CAGR and loan book at 20% CAGR over the 5 years. So CAGR kya hai? What does loan book means? What is the projection for 5 years? Mein they are expecting it to grow at this rate. So what you do, जब भी आप एक रिपोर्ट डाउनलोड कर रहे हो, एज अ स्टार्टिंग पॉइंट टू एवरीबडी हु इज ऑलरेडी डन इट विद मी, आप एक एक्सेल मेंटेन करोगे. उस एक्सेल में यू विल स्टार्ट क्रिएटिंग शीट्स. द फर्स्ट शीट शुड टॉक अबाउट द कंपनी. सो बोथ ऑफ यू हु ऑलरेडी प्रेजेंटेड, फर्स्ट शीट में आप लिखोगे एवरीथिंग अबाउट द कंपनी, विच मीन्स its description, its mission, vision statement, website का link डाल दो वहां पे, talk about the products and services, talk about the CEO. So everything that is generally available and has nothing to do with the performance. It is the basic stated facts. बिजनेस डिस्क्रिप्शन हो गया, और कंपनी कहाँ उसकी हेडक्वार्टर्स है, व्हाट आर दी ऑपरेशंस, कौन सी इंडस्ट्री में लिस्टेड है. सो दोस थिंग्स. Second sheet should then start talking about the financials, because your non-financial factors hai, I don't want you to account for that in Excel. I only want you to account for the financial factors. But before you talk about the financials of the company, give me a Excel sheet detailing the general description of the firm. Both of you should do that, and everybody who's done this assignment should do that. Okay? Move slowly to the bottom, gradually. Yeah. Wait. The last line of the paragraph on improvement in asset quality says the bank expects to weed out the infrastructure book and maintain a gross retail NPA below 1.5. What is NPA?
Non-performing assets.
राइट. सो एनपीए वर्ड अगर आ रहा है एक बैंकिंग के लिए तो उसकी रेलेवेंस ढूंढोगे आप. अब आप क्या रिसर्च कर रहे हो कि हाउ इज आप क्या लिखोगे, हाउ इज एनपीए रिलेटेड टू द बैंकिंग सेक्टर. व्हाट इज एनपीए, पहले तो ये समझो. फिर एनपीए का बैंकिंग से क्या रिलेशन है, बिकॉज एचयूएल में तो एनपीए वर्ड आया ही नहीं कहीं पे. तो नॉन परफॉर्मिंग एसेट्स को कैसे डिफाइन करता है एक बैंक. आप म्यूचुअल फंड कंपनीज को देखोगे ना, म्यूचुअल फंड्स में भी एनपीए वर्ड यूज होता है. क्यों होता है? सो अंडरस्टैंड करना है इन चीजों को. यस दीपांशु, आप कुछ बोल रहे हो?
No, I was saying non-performing assets about it.
Right. Okay. Okay. Move down. Cost to income ratio क्यों रेलेवेंट है फॉर बैंक? नोटेड डाउन कि मैं जब एक बैंकिंग सेक्टर की रिपोर्ट देख रहा था, मैंने वहां कॉस्ट टू इनकम रेशियो का रेलेवेंस देखा. आरती, कैन यू आंसर दिस?
I think it is the operating expenses being more than the operating income.
Okay, we'll take that point for now and we'll do more research, but we'll keep that in mind कि cost to income ratio भी पता होना चाहिए. Move down. Let's come to the valuation part. ठीक है, valuation लिखा था नीचे, view and valuation. Read the first line.
We have revised our estimates and maintained our view on IDFC First Bank Limited with buy rating and a target price of 99.5 rupees.
Yeah, how do you read this? It's 2.2x or 2.2 times of what? 2.2 times of FY25 estimated adjusted book value. इसको कैसे रीड करते हैं अभी बस उतना समझो. बैक ट्रैक करते हैं इसको. एडजस्टेड बुक वैल्यू होगी कोई, ठीक है, कब की होगी? FY25 एस्टिमेटेड की जो एडजस्टेड बुक वैल्यू है उसका कितना टाइम्स लिखा है यहाँ पे? 2.2 टाइम्स. तो सबसे पहले आप रिपोर्ट में क्या ढूंढोगे? FY25 एस्टिमेटेड के नंबर्स. उसमें क्या देखोगे? एडजस्टेड बुक प्राइस कितना है, बुक वैल्यू कितनी है, एंड देन यू विल अराइव एट that figure, and then multiplied by 2.2 is your 99.5. अब tell me, अगर मैं 99.5 को 2.2 से divide कर दूं, what will I arrive at?
Adjusted book value.
Correct. For FY25 estimated adjusted book value. So ये सब ना एक्सेल में वर्किंग्स करा करो and try to correlate everything. अगर राइट हैंड साइड पे आपको ईपीएस दे रखा है और आपने देखा कि फॉर एन एंटिटी इट इज मेंशन्ड दैट 5x टाइम्स द FY24 ईपीएस, तो आप देखो कि वो ईपीएस कितना लिखा है एंड उसको मल्टीप्लाई करके क्या टारगेट प्राइस आ रहा है या नहीं. सो व्हाट डू वी कॉल दिस? कैन वी कॉल दिस DCF? yes or no? Is this valuation done using a discounted cash flow or not? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Anyone else who feels this is not discounted cash flow? Abhishek. Anyone else? अगर DCF होता तो क्या वर्ड्स यूज होते? एंटरप्राइज वैल्यू, इक्विटी वैल्यू, राइट? FCFF, FCFE, जनरली हमने यही पढ़ा है अभी, ठीक है. तो क्या ये DCF है? थिंक अगेन. क्या यहाँ ऐसा कोई वर्ड है related to a financial metric? I know it's adjusted book value, but is it directly DCF? What do you think? Asset valuation, ठीक है. We are not here to go into the detail of it, which valuation method is used. The objective is आपको क्लियर हो जाना चाहिए कि यार DCF में तो वो चीज होती है, यहाँ पे मुझे लग नहीं रहा, तो मैं थोड़ा माइंड में रखूं एंड फिगर आउट करूं. एंड व्हाट इज दिस नेक्स्ट स्टेप फॉर यू? The next step is to look at the reports of other competitors or other companies in the banking sector and check how they have formulated the paragraph on valuation. Are you getting my point? So इस पॉइंट पे आप देखोगे, अच्छा IDFC को ऐसे लिखा है, target price is for which period, why is it not mentioned? It must be mentioned We'll have to read through the report and see in detail, which obviously I will as a part of my evaluation, and I will discuss this further in the next session. But yes, so for now, you got the point, right? कि थोड़ा सा माइंड में हर चीज को लेके चलो. Scroll down. ठीक है. They've given the quarter results. Okay, change percentage. This is norm, fine. Okay, move down, move down. See, anyone who has looked at the annual report thoroughly will be able to tell me that ये loan book mix क्या है, right? वो better explain कर पाएगा. So the expectation is that are these numbers coming from the annual report or not? So what do? You check the historicals. यहाँ पे historicals available हैं या नहीं, आपको देखना पड़ेगा. Reports में ideally वो historicals नहीं देते हैं, but sometimes it's posted above in the form of a short table. आपने देखा होगा टेबल में 1-2 साल का हिस्टोरिकल होता है एंड बाकी प्रोजेक्शंस अवेलेबल होते हैं. सो यू हैव टू ट्राई एंड वेरीफाई द नंबर्स, एंड फॉर दैट मैंने क्या बोला, 2 चीजें आप क्या करोगे, हिस्टोरिकल्स के लिए एनुअल रिपोर्ट देखोगे एंड प्रोजेक्शंस के लिए बाकी एनालिस्ट रिपोर्ट्स को भी वेरीफाई करोगे. So you will try to find IDFC का report of some other broker, even if it is for a different period. बहुत ज्यादा extreme volatility या variation तो नहीं आनी चाहिए ना. So you will judge that on that basis. ठीक है. Move down. ठीक है. Keep scrolling. CASA ratio, term deposits and certificate of deposits. So these are the kind of deposits available with IDFC. So understand what is CASA. Aarti told you it's current asset, current account, so savings account ratio. तो current account और savings account में difference पता है सबको? ये भी पता होना चाहिए, because आप report बनाओगे और आपको industry choose करने का मौका तो नहीं मिलेगा corporate में, right? अभी तो आप कर रहे हो एक industry पे work, आगे जाके आपको दे देंगे. तो this is the point. This is the time where you learn from other people's analysis. आरती से आप बैंकिंग का सीखो. शिवम ने किस पे प्रेजेंट किया था, HUL पे, तो FMCG का आइडिया वहां पे लग रहा है, राइट? अब शिवम बैठ के तो तीनों चारों सेक्टर्स को नहीं बैठ जाएगा ना करने के लिए. दिस इज हाउ वी लर्न इन अ ग्रुप. एनीवे, ठीक है. कीप स्क्रोलिंग डियर, कीप स्क्रोलिंग. मेरे को बस देखना है कि if there's anything new coming up in the reports. ROE, ROA. What? Give me the full form, just the full form of ROE, ROA. What is the difference?
Return on equity and return on assets.
Okay, fine. Move ahead. Chalo, धीरे धीरे. Yeah.
Aarti, can you tell me if a higher CASA ratio is good or lower CASA ratio is good?
The more the better,
Perfect. Why?
because the banks will have to pay less interest on these.
Yes, because you're right, it improves profitability, it reduces the funding costs. And of course, it also provides a much more stable deposit base if the CASA ratio is more. Thank you. Good work.
And also, who opens a current account with a bank? Let's go back to very basic जो हमको books में पढ़ते थे. Current account open कौन करता है बैंक में?
Businesses.
Usually the business.
Businesses, right? Individuals would want a savings account more than the same. And also we have got MSMEs and SMEs. Very good. MSME का full form क्या है?
Medium and small enterprise.
एक वर्ड मिस कर दिया.
Micro.
ठीक है, राइट. अभी तो चल जाएगा, रिक्रूटर के सामने ये गलती मत करना. ओके, चलो, लेट्स मूव अहेड. धीरे धीरे चलते रहो, डोंट स्टॉप. Some people actually start with reading the conclusion first, the highlights first. That is another good way. You can, for understanding, you can see, move up a little bit. What do you see as a heading here? FSA दिख रहा है सबको? So is FSA a part of equity research, or equity research is a part of FSA? FSA is a small part of equity research, ना, right? तो हम क्या पढ़ रहे हैं? हम पढ़ रहे हैं equity research. तो FSA तो मतलब कोई बोले ना बोले हमें पता है, हमें करना ही है. FSA कैसे करते हैं, दैट इज आर्ट. वो कैसे कर रहे हैं देखो, क्या निकाला, रेशियोज तो हमें दिख रहा है, बट ऑन द लेफ्ट हैंड साइड वी सी समथिंग एल्स अपार्ट फ्रॉम नंबर्स. व्हाट इज दैट? फर्स्ट टेबल में आपको क्या दिख रहा है नंबर्स के अलावा? कैन यू सी सम परसेंटेजेस?
I'm sorry, where are we checking?
Okay, so on the right hand side, there are ratios, right? And on the left
Right.
hand side, they've provided the financials. Do you feel they could have added something else along with the financials here? बताओ. अगर मुझे इस प्रॉफिट एंड लॉस को थोड़ा और बेटर एनालिसिस करना है, इसको प्रेजेंट और अच्छे से करना है, तो व्हाट वुड यू डू एज अ रिसर्च एनालिस्ट? चैट बॉक्स की हेल्प ले सकते हो आप. वी गॉट द आंसर. ट्राई टू यूज दैट एंड आंसर. अभिषेक, आप व्हाई यू नॉट स्पीकिंग? यू कैन अनम्यूट एंड स्पीक ना. यू गिविंग गुड आंसर्स, तो पार्टिसिपेट करो. ठीक है. हम मार्जिन मेंशन कर सकते हैं यहीं पे. कर सकते हैं ना कि नेट इंटरेस्ट इनकम कितना बढ़ रही है, व्हाट इज द ईयर ऑन ईयर ग्रोथ रेट, अदर इनकम प्लस नेट इंटरेस्ट इनकम, नेट इनकम कितनी बढ़ रही है. सो वी कैन ऑल्सो एड रेगुलर ग्रोथ रेट्स एट एवरी एस्पेक्ट. जो हाईलाइटेड पोर्शन होता है, that is like the most important and is looked at for analysis. Why have they highlighted profit before tax? Why have they highlighted profit after tax? देखो, प्री प्रोविजन ऑपरेटिंग प्रॉफिट को भी हाईलाइट किया. क्यों किया हाईलाइट? Because every stakeholder, every interested party might have interest in different interest earnings. इफ आई एम एन इक्विटी होल्डर, मुझे क्या मतलब एबिट से, मैं देखूंगी प्रॉफिट आफ्टर टैक्स कैसा है. इफ आई एम अ डेट होल्डर, आई माइट बी इंटरेस्टेड इन अर्निंग्स बिफोर डिडक्टिंग द इंटरेस्ट. तो दिस अंडरस्टैंडिंग इज इंपॉर्टेंट. ठीक है. सो रेशियोज देखे हमने फाइनेंशियल स्टेटमेंट एनालिसिस में, मार्जिन होने चाहिए, एंड देन अ बैलेंस शीट एनालिसिस इज ऑल्सो इंपॉर्टेंट. तो यू कैन सी बैलेंस शीट भी है, हिस्टोरिकल्स भी है. दोनों में आपको क्या, कैन यू चेक द हिस्टोरिकल्स हियर? आ रहे हैं ना हिस्टोरिकल, FY22 का डेटा दे रखा है, राइट? तो आप इसको वेरीफाई कर सकते हो एनुअल रिपोर्ट से, कर सकते हो ना. थोड़ा वेरी कर सकता है बिकॉज वी, सो हैव दे मेंशन्ड द सोर्स? जस्ट चेक, कैन यू सी द सोर्स समवेयर? सोर्स में
Source
लिखा है
company.
कंपनी. कंपनी मतलब कौन? IDFC या फिर ये कंपनी जो कर रही है एनालिसिस?
IDFC.
हाँ. सो they are regularly in touch with them to provide the financials. अब इतनी बड़ी कंपनी बैठी है, या येस सिक्योरिटीज या कोई भी कंपनी बैठी है, वो उनके साथ मैनिपुलेट करके गलत डेटा तो पब्लिश नहीं करेगी. But as Arun mentioned, it's important for them to disclose their independence of this entity, right? Only a broker which is independent and does not hold, an employee who doesn't hold shares in that company is eligible to work on that project. जब आप corporate में भी work करोगे ना, especially with global clients and Indian clients, आपसे एक declaration sign करवाएंगे वो कि पहले, so for example I work with Siemens, I work with some other global brand. मैंने नेस्ले के प्रोजेक्ट्स करे, तो मुझे एक अंडरटेकिंग लेनी पड़ेगी दैट आई डू नॉट होल्ड शेयर्स ऑफ नेस्ले. इफ आई डू एंड आई एम कॉट, इट्स अ ब्रीच ऑफ द कोड ऑफ कॉन्डक्ट, राइट? So वो सब चीजें they are in place. So people who have worked on this report do not hold shares of IDFC First Bank. This is an assumption. I mean, this is something that is required by the entity. Anyway, so now you know what is included, what is not, right? अब इसमें इंडस्ट्री, आप कहोगे इसमें इंडस्ट्री तो आया ही नहीं, मतलब इंडस्ट्री का जिस्ट नहीं आया. बट जब तक आप इंडस्ट्री को समझोगे ही नहीं, हाउ वुड यू डू द कंपनी एनालिसिस? सो as a part of today's session, I didn't want to just talk about industry ka analysis. I wanted to tell you how that is already incorporated in a company analysis as well. इंडस्ट्री एनालिसिस में मैं आपको बोलूंगी, पेस्टिल देखते हैं, स्वॉट देखते हैं, BCG मैट्रिक्स. दीज आर द 3 मेजर पॉइंट्स टू लुक एट फॉर एन इंडस्ट्री एनालिसिस. वो आप कर लोगे, एंड फॉर अ डिटेल्ड रिपोर्ट आपको करना भी है. बट how do you incorporate that, or that research in a company's analysis is the most crucial step in finance. Okay, scroll down. There's a rating history also. Just check the rating they have provided, by rating. But जब आप एक credit report देखते हो, तो has any one of you encountered words like AAA, AA, double B, triple B? देखा है ना सबने? So that is a credit rating report. So what is this? This is an equity research report. That is a credit rating report. So credit rating report को mix मत करना. But जब हम credit rating की बात करते हैं, तो can you name a few credit rating agencies in India that might be
CRISIL.
famous? CRISIL, CARE, ICRA. Credit rating means. अब ये तो एक डिफरेंट सेशन है ऑल टुगेदर. आई विल कम बैक ऑन दिस लेटर. अभी आई स्टिक टू इक्विटी रिसर्च एंड नॉट कंफ्यूज यू पीपल, बट फील फ्री टू रिसर्च ऑन इट. Credit research again is, I would say, weighing the riskiness of a business or an asset is credit research. You try to see or analyze a particular product or a particular entity with how much risk it offers to the investors, right? Obviously, those with lesser risk will have a better rating. Those with a higher risk will be rated low. That's a very basic understanding of this. See, so SNP, yeah, SNP, Moody's, Crystal Care, ICRA. You are free to explore the websites of all of these ahead, right? Just again continue. See, they've given the basis. Prachi mentioned. ऐसा कुछ. So what are they saying? Expected positive return of 10% over 1 year horizon. तो अब let's say आपको इकरा का ही analysis करना है in Excel. What will you do? आप 1 year का daily share price for the last 1 year भी analyze कर सकते हो ना. So again, I as a mentor I will say कि आप 5 साल को analyze करो. Don't do it for 1 year. But see कि इन्होंने buy दिया तो इन्होंने बोला expected. अब now they are talking about the expected positive returns over 1 year horizon. So is this talking about the historicals? No. Right? But 10% क्यों दिया? 10 का gap percent क्या रखा है? Is it some average they've taken? कैसे पता चलेगा? Historical share prices को analyze करके कि उनका average returns कितना generate हुआ था, so that we are able to at least relate कि ये लोग 10% को as a benchmark क्यों ले रहे हैं. Is this making sense to all of you? Yes or not? No.
Yes.
अभी तक सब समझ आ रहा है? Okay. Move ahead. I think the others are just like a formality which is needed for the report for the brokers to be published. But ये भी आपको पढ़ के समझना है. This is more about what Keynote does. Right? So they provide. अपनी भी तो marketing करेंगे ना, अपनी भी तो promotion करेंगे. आप उनकी report पढ़ रहे हो. So this is more on their level, which you can skip. So I hope we all got a good understanding of how a report looks like. And I'm happy to see my students doing such a good hard work, guys. But continue, go beyond, right? Next time we come in, everybody who's missed this should feel, यार ये ऐसा क्या कर रहे हैं जो हम miss कर रहे हैं, right? हमें वो भी feeling देनी है और हमें खुद को इतना confident करना है कि मतलब yes, I have developed something. So thank you, Aarti. Thanks, Shivam. I now request you can stop presenting, Aarti, and let me know if there are any questions at this stage. So I hope you're good to go, right?
Yes, Kavya. Thank you.
No problem. Yeah. Yes,
I have a
Gayana,
fun.
you there?
I have a fun homework for Aarti, just because she was very passionate. Everybody is very passionate and everybody is trying to learn. So when it comes to credit rating, हमारा जो देश है भारत, उसकी credit rating कौन decide करता है? Because there's some agency which decides the credit rating for the countries. So India, पाकिस्तान की credit rating और इंडिया की credit rating कैसी है? That's the homework I want you to figure out. What's the current credit rating for India, especially after हमारा जो राम मंदिर का इतना राम लला जी आ गए, सब उद्घाटन हो गया, प्रतिष्ठा हो गई, उसके बाद हमारी क्रेडिट रेटिंग में कोई फर्क पड़ा है? हाँ या ना? ये सवाल is a homework for you.
Sure, Arun. Interesting question. I'll look into that.
Great, guys. So again, I don't believe in calling out your names. Anyone who has anything to share, I request all my students, where are you people? मेहनत करिए तो दिखाओ ना सबको. मैंने तो की होती एक हफ्ता तो मैं तो I would have gone crazy that I got a chance to get others' feedback. So where are you guys? Prachi, where are you?
Hi, Kavya.
Yeah, hi. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good too. I hope you're enjoying the session and ready with your assignment.
Yes, I completed the assignment, but I think I misunderstood it and I did something wrong. Actually, I downloaded the report, but I didn't understood it fully. And now I'm seeing like what Shivam and Aarti did. So I think I'm not that much prepared, and I think I have downloaded the wrong report because it's of the year 2015, and they have downloaded the recent one. So I think I have to work again on the report. Though I submitted the assignment, but I think I have done something wrong.
No problem. You know, realization on what you can do better is another key takeaway from the session, right? But because you are here and you know you're playing an active part, I want to know your submission on your favorite company, if not the report. So talk a little about that. Yeah.
Yeah. So My favorite company is HDFC Bank. So in the assignment, I told about the what's the logo. Like I have inserted the picture of the logo and what's the slogan. So the slogan is "We understand your world," and the weighted index in the Nifty 50 is the it's the its ranking is up to 1, and it comes under Nifty 50 and Sensex. It comes under both the categories. And what else did I started recently? It was in news regarding pilot for offline digital payments launched. It was done in, I think, yeah, February 2023. It was done, and a merger was done between HDFC Limited and HDFC Bank, which was the approval was given by the RBI in 17 March 2023. So like the merger was done between these two companies. And regarding the vision of and mission of the HDFC Bank, it is the world class Indian bank, and the bank is like committed to maintaining the highest level of ethical standards and corporate governance and regularity compliance. So their main goal is they have the 5 core values, which is operational excellence, customer focus, product leadership, people, and sustainability. So they have also earned several rewards recently, and due to which they were in news as well. So due to that, it's my favorite company, and I love it.
Wonderful. And I hope if you say that, you also get a chance to work in HDFC at least once in your life, because that is what we all look forward to and aim at, right? Like we always have this one or two companies in mind that we keep checking. We are always fascinated by what they do, what the employees post about. So one aspect is that it's favorite because it's in the news, it's performing better. And then there's one more element that it's favorite because I want to work there as a professional, right? So, and
Yes.
I'm sure I'll ask you guys, you will have a few names like JP Morgan, Goldman Sachs, Morgan Stanley. But if I happen to ask you about, give me the business model of JP Morgan, that is where we lack, right? So, we'll go ahead, do this exercise every week so that, we are not just understanding more about HDFC, but we'll also understand about each one of y'all's favorite companies. And through that, we'll also develop a good understanding of different business models of different companies. And that is the objective. So
Yay!
wonderful. Yeah.
Kavya, I have a fun question for Prachi because Prachi Kanungo is in a lot of groups, and she deserves a question at least. So the question is pretty simple, and this is a homework. It's not if she can decide to do it or not do it, it's up to her. So in 2022, the share of LIC in HDFC Bank was about 4.12% or something like that. It has traditionally been 4%, not more than 5%, right? So now suddenly the government has given a nod, or RBI really has given a nod, saying LIC will own up to 9.99 or close to 10% shares of HDFC Bank. So what was the reason behind doubling its stake from 5 point X percent to roughly double of that? What happened there? Why was this decision taken? And what will be the impacts of such a decision where LIC owns about 50,000 crores already as of December 2023, 50,000 crores. So imagine if 50,000 crores means 5.77, 5 point something, 5 point X percent, then if it is doubled, LIC is going to own a lot of HDFC. So is it a good thing for HDFC? Is it a bad thing for HDFC? Is a question as a homework for Pachi Kanun Go.
I am trying to get her on the mic for so long, but it seems like she's doing her own analysis, or I don't know. I'll have to pull her ears separately after the call, because I might seem like a very go-to friendly mentor, but when it comes to work, when it comes to the assignments, you don't want to deal with me. Trust me. So it's easy in the first 15 days or so,
No,
but then
as a mentor, you have to be fun, but you have to be tough as well because otherwise,
absolutely.
people learn like the superficial things which can be taught by any YouTuber with 2 months experience, or who haven't even completed their BCom, have no experience. At least we have Kavya with experience talking about such things. So we have to be fun and tough at the same time. But I truly appreciate the passion of Aarti, Shivam, Prachi, and Gayana and others. I really appreciate how everybody is like participating and trying to. And of course, the people who have not presented today must have learned a lot from the others' presentations, and that's how we need to have incremental improvement over our last whatever we did last. So I see a very strong direction. Kavya, kudos to you for having come up with this curated course where people are going to learn a lot. Of course, the practical experience will come from when they start working, but at least they know the fundamentals very well, so they can apply to any industry.
Yeah, that is the objective, Arun. I think we had a long discussion regarding the same, and I realized that the problem we all face, and I've also mentioned it to the students who've enrolled, is that you know everything and everything's out there, but then why is there a problem at the time of interviews? Why is there a blank space when I ask you a question? It's because we've not practiced in that manner. We've never really we really never sat with each other in a way that I am asking questions and you're answering them in the form of a question and answer format, which I think is extremely crucial. And it doesn't come overnight. It doesn't come 10 days before your interview. It comes as a regular practice, not for these 2 months, but for the next coming whatever years of your professional career. So that is one key takeaway I have taken from all my learnings, and that is what I want to pass it on to all of you. And trust me, there is abundance of knowledge available. There are a lot of mentors apart from me who might be able to guide you in a different perspective. But what's relevant is how much you take away from them, the positive insights they have inculcated in their life, right? So, any questions, anyone? I think we already have spent almost 2 hours, discussing so many things. And it's important we conclude it on a note that you all have gained something out of it. So, again, open to my audience, open to the learners, to the action takers. And again, I want to fill you all with that energy and conclude the session with all of you speaking about one key takeaway from this session. Whatever you picked up, it could be as simple as that, I understood how do I communicate. I like the way you communicate and I want to learn that. Or maybe I want to start reading a report. So just speak, everyone. Encourage me also, because as a human, I need that encouragement. I need that appreciation as well, right? So over to you people, and tell me your key takeaway from the session and any feedback you have for the next one.
So I'll go. I what I did was, as soon as I saw the assignment from Kavya, I just read it and just did it and didn't do much of an analysis on the reports and all and the company. So I learned that I have to dig deeper, I have to read more, I have to understand more about the company, about the industry in order to speak. And thanks for the feedback, Arun and Kavya, and the other people who have contributed. So I think I have got a little bit of direction where to move, where to go ahead, and what else I have to look for in order to understand better and present better. So thank you. It was quite a learning.
Wonderful, awesome. Happy
Jai
to.
Maharashtra.
The same goes for me. When you said I would have to download the equity research report, I didn't know that I would have to present that in detail. So when Shivam went, I was on my nerves. So I quickly read through for like 2 minutes and just told whatever I understood from that. But from now on going forward, I think I got the clarity on how to read the research reports. And honestly, I really find it very inspiring how Kavya comes and talks for like 3 hours on the research reports. Hope that I'll have that level of proficiency someday. Yes, also thank you so much for the feedback, Kavya and Arun.
And I got a feedback and I got a clarity. I'm not letting Shivam go first from now on. It has to be alphabetical wise. So Arti, be prepared. The next time it's you and others pick up from what you do and then get that advantage that you did today, right?
I didn't prepare well, but next time I'll try to be prepared and
I'm
present well.
sure. I'm sure you will. And again, be very open to being a part of such random calls. I didn't plan it today in this sense, right? I was ready to take a separate session with you guys and with these guys, but I'm sure it turned out in our favor at the end of the day for all of us, right? That is the objective. Wonderful. Only two people found it interesting, and that is really, like, I don't take it as a good thing. No one wants to appreciate, compliment me further, because I am craving that from you people. So tell me, was it fruitful?
I loved the session. Actually, I misunderstood the assignment, so I have to work on it again. I'll download the report again and I'll read the again. But yeah, it was a learning process. Shivam did the good job. Aarti also did good job. I understood the way they presented, how I have to do. So I apologize for not presenting today. Next time I'll be more careful, and yeah, I have to work on it again. So lovely meeting you all, and yeah, it was great to be here today.
We do not want to see a black dot. Diana, I don't know for what reason you put it there, but try to change it, right? Let's also imbibe a lot of positive energy and feeling. I don't know why. Black can also represent positivity, but for me it is a little on a darker side, right? And the next time I want to see a beautiful faces too. So I say lovely meeting you se kuch nahi hoga. We have to show off who we are, and because in the end it's about how we present ourselves and express through our expressions, through our thoughts and actions. So camera ready hoke aana sab log. ठीक है?
Kavya, I have to share a feedback on you. Um, so there are some people. There are two kinds of people in life. There are some people who talk, and there are some people who do. But there's a third kind of person who get all the kudos from everyone, and they are the people who talk and do. So you have the best combination of great talk, and you're a great doer. So both those skills blended together make you the passionate. I mean, it clearly shows from your teaching style, and the material you choose, and how you conduct a session. It clearly talks about who you are. So that's it.
Coming from you means a lot. I mean, I hope I'm able to stay on these words and I'm able to deliver what I feel is right, because I think I do understand those pain points, and maybe that's why I feel more relatable. You feel relatable with me, because the journey for me also hasn't been that great. But yes, at the same time, I don't want to complain, because I had parents who were supportive. I had friends, colleagues, who were always trusting me, and they probably, it wasn't the people, it was the voice inside that suddenly realized that no, you're made for bigger things. Do it. So वो inner voice पे focus करो and forget, you will not be able to hear the voice outside. I had a discussion last time जब हम बोल रहे थे कि बाहर के लोग बहुत impact करते हैं. वो अभी तो नहीं बैठे ना आपके साथ. जो आप learning लेके जा रहे हो वो अपने लिए लेके जा रहे हो. So you are the one who's important and not those people. So when I stopped hearing them, when I stopped reacting to them, I'm here, right? I've also heard compliments like, what will you do in life? Academics ही तो अच्छे हैं, और क्या मतलब, you don't have a social circle. यार उन academics ने ही मुझे ये life दी है ना. So I have to respect that, while at the same time strike a balance. So yeah, we're all there, we'll do it. But dreams, so to fulfill your dreams, you have to have that standard of living also. And to have that standard of living, we need to be the managers people rely on. We have to be consultants people come back to, and not people who we keep asking, आ जाओ भाई, आ जाओ भाई. जो आ रहा है वो इसलिए आ रहा है because उसको आप पे belief है, right? Correct. So anyone, any other thing else before we close?
I just want to mention one thing. It takes a lot of work and research and analysis in order to prepare a report, or what Kavya you do. So वो लेवल पे तो शायद मैं ना कर पाऊँ, but जितना भी हो सके मैं करूँगा. This I'm talking about presenting next time. So whatever information or whatever thing I can collate, understand, I'll try to do that.
Shivam, the very fact that you have been able to come on the video and say all these things makes you the bravest person I know. So I believe that people will take your lead, and try to come up on the video as well, so that I mean that's how you can I have made 1,000 mistakes. I'm 51 years old now, and I've made more mistakes than you will probably ever do in your life. But that's how we learn. So
Yeah.
kudos to you for the you received the bravery award for today along with the Aarti.
I hope everyone will also come on the video. I hope.
Otherwise, let's make Shivam the CR of the group, because it's very difficult to make sure that you don't talk to the bricks here and you talk to real people. Anyway, I am happy all of you found the time, and I've actually stayed till the end of the session, be it 2 hours on a weekend, and it's an extended weekend. I'm sure you have a lot of plans, but learning shouldn't stop, right? And that is why we are here. Thank you everyone in the chat, whoever is appreciating the teaching style, but you can be in my place, and that is what I expect to see. I want to learn from you people. वो कब होगा? मैं कब तक बताऊँ? आप कब बताओगे मुझे? So let's have that attitude that मुझे भी तो इनको कुछ सिखाना है ना, मतलब कुछ सिर्फ सीखना नहीं है, तो मुझे इनको सिखाने के लिए मेहनत तो करनी पड़ेगी. Let's do it. So वो वाला attitude, ठीक है?
Hi, Kaveh. I have something to say. Sorry. So
Yeah.
actually, I really appreciate the work you are doing, but actually, I know this session is more closely related to the EQR. But as I think there are some people who are see, finance is a vast field, so there are
Yeah.
so many fields in that. So coming to the corporate finance, also we do have a lot of things, which is a part of investment banking. There is also financial analyst. Also, there are many parts. Right?
Right. Yeah.
So example, see me. So I'm a BBA graduate. Okay, so I'm looking to start my career in finance, but as you know, like I'm much more interested in the a field of FP&A. That is something called financial planning and analysis, which is a part of the corporate finance. Okay,
Yep.
so so I know that this is something which is different. Okay, it is not a part of the EQR. Okay, so I would really appreciate if you could, or any like any lead, like any member will hold a session on that, because aspirants like me will take a benefit of it. So that's my only request from my side. Thank you.
I actually have already taken one session on FP&A in the past, and I have uploaded the recordings on my YouTube. But as far as FP&A, I mean, this is a strong personal observation that, so again, I cannot comment now, because then I will have to take you back to the job descriptions of an FP&A profile. But as an aspirant, you are free to choose any area, but understand how complex an FP&A can get and what should be the starting point. So there are a lot of people sitting in this room, who wants to become valuation consultants, who wants to enter into FP&A, including me. If I'm currently in valuation, the next step should be FP&A, but FP&A takes me closer to investment banking and farther away from equity research. But then if I'm not aware of equity research, FP&A won't make sense. I mean, I don't know if you can resonate with that, but yes, FP&A is not, let me be very blunt about it, but FP&A as a subject is not for a fresher. If you feel it is and you're getting an entry, very well. But then again, we need to understand where FP&A comes from. You bring in a job description, even at this point, if you want a half an hour, 45 minutes of a direct counseling on what FP&A looks like, you want me to help you with adding those keywords in your resume, I do that. You can also book a session, or maybe you can, talk to any mentor through Arun. He's the right person to guide you. But yeah, as far as FP&A, try to do some research on whether a graduate or a postgraduate can get an easy entry. If you find there are roles where a graduate is able to enter into FP&A, then try to read the job description. I suppose the job
Yeah.
description is more suited for a equity role or a research role rather than a strategy consultant. Yeah.
Let me add my
Yes.
one cent. Let me add my 1 cent to what Kavya said. Kavya has access to multiple experts through the different groups she's in. For example, one of the experts is Nirmala Sundaram. She's doing FP&A in US. You can also get access to few other members through Kavya. Yes, so short answer is yes, we will be happy to arrange a session for you or a counseling session through Kavya. So just write to us, and we should be able to plan this in the future.
Yes, sir. I have done my part of the research. I would like to add that, like, what FP&A, the relevant skills required, and what are the keywords for that. So I have done my part of the research. So what is, how can we enter being a graduate into that specific field? So I
Uh,
know what I have to
uh,
learn.
your
Sorry.
your question is very important and it requires some dedicated time. So we'll make some time for you and others who are similarly interested. So we'll conduct it for a group on the topic of FP&A once more, like
Sure,
Kavya
sure.
has already done one.
Okay. Okay. That would be great, sir.
Right. Anything else? Another
Yes,
one
Kavya.
minute and we can.
Yes, Kavya. What's the secret of your smile at the end of like 2 3 hours? You keep going and still you can smile. Unlike me, who's been sitting in his car, sipping a coffee, and I cannot smile after 2 hours. What is the secret here?
Practice. It's the passion I have towards doing this, it just comes naturally out of me. You'd never see even a smile in 4 days of me working straight for office. I mean, I don't smile at all, but here I'm like always this bubbly, smiling girl because this is what I love to do, and this is never going to stop. No one can stop me from doing what I am passionate about. And when you develop this understanding ना कि ठीक है 9 to 5 का 9 to 9 जॉब भी हो रहा है, बट 10 बजे बैठ के वो जो एनर्जी आती है ना आपके अंदर कि
So
यार ये करना है,
in
दैट
other
इज
words,
नेक्स्ट लेवल.
in other words, you're saying that the energy of Shivam and Aarti and Abhishek and Gayana, all these people energize you, and that's what makes you smile.
100%. That
All
definitely, including you. I mean, the energy is contagious.
right.
So it's my students, my learners who motivate me कि नहीं ये थोड़ा we need to go beyond, and maybe आप बोलो 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 हम भी एक दिन बोलेंगे. So they are always promising me that अभी नहीं बोल पा रहे
Yay.
बाद में बोलेंगे. So I wait for that बाद में वाला moment for them. But anyway, let's hope that it happens soon for all of you. And try to speak up. Those who have are already getting confident. Those who are not able to speak, try to work around with me on areas where you find a problem. So अगर आपको लगता है कि मैं personally आपसे connect करके बात करूंगा तो मुझे कुछ लगेगा, feel free to connect. We're always there, right? अंधेर हो सकती, देर हो सकती है, अंधेर नहीं. Right? If I said it correct, I don't know. ऐसा ही कुछ होता है ना. चलो. Anyway, all the best everyone. Have a great Sunday. Right? Enjoy yourself. And I have yet another assignment for all of you.
Oh
Right?
my.
So भागना नहीं है. The assignment will be coming up
कल
on Monday.
क्लास है हमारी.
We can keep a doubt session, Shivam, for 1 hour if in case you people have doubts. But since you people have presented already, you know क्या करना है. जिसे
हाँ
नहीं किया, let me pull their legs and let me, you know, DM them.
Kavya,
ये
one thing I learned was कि जो भी हम report देख रहे हैं, whatever report, this is something I learned from your session today. That whatever report I'm observing, if I'm having like some terms that I don't understand, I must look for it. For example, EBITDA देख लिया, what is NPA देख लिया, या जो भी whatever term I think I'm not understanding, either I jot it down and try to figure out something more about it. And if I'm if I do not understand that, obviously ask my peers and ask my mentors to what that term is and how what does it imply. So that is one key learning I got out of the two reports that were presented today.
Right. So, and that is what I've inculcated and tried to incorporate in their assignments. Because the first thing I told them is find out any 10 new words from any report. That was the first thing they need to do.
also any additional source to find these reports. मतलब apart from मतलब Telegram पे तो latest वाला हमेशा तो नहीं मिलता है, but
I've told you the name of the brokers who publish the reports. They
हाँ
have their
उनके
official
website पे.
website. That's it.
Right.
We
Okay.
won't go anything beyond. बस इतना ही करो अभी.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
again, screener.in, but screener is more from the point of view of you downloading the financials in Excel, which we will do in the 4th week, not right now.
Mhm.
Okay?
And
So
Shivam,
if we have to meet, yeah.
please share with me the Telegram channel because I'll take a look at it because I have
हाँ
come to a conclusion after years of investing. I'm an active investor, investing about $1 million every year,
Mhm.
literally. But
Mhm.
I really want, and I have a portion of that is invested in India. So I really
Okay.
want to know who are these investors and who is publishing all these reports on Telegram. and what is the authenticity of those. Because
Huh.
I have come to a conclusion after having 3 years of research on Telegram that
Hmm.
majority of it is like crap, literally crap.
So,
I don't believe in them, but I'd be happy to take a look at it. All that I'm asking is to send me a link.
it's just the group of working professionals जहाँ पे companies का उनको access रहता है. So because of they have access in their own companies, they share the report for other benefits. तो कुछ
Yeah, I
recommendation
understand. I'm a part of many such groups, and there's one group called
I'll share.
Securities and all, and all that group is a bunch of youngsters
Huh.
accessing data from XYZ seniors and just
Yeah,
cutting,
yeah.
pasting, copying, and they want to expand their groups, and they have no real knowledge. None of them, not a single person has real knowledge. Everybody is just just they just do a degree and just write up stuff.
I'll share the group that group link on your personal chat if that's okay.
Thank you, Shum.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you everyone and happy learning. Keep learning and let's come back in another session we plan shortly.
I
And for
can't
all
wait.
the doubts we have tomorrow, if that's possible. Okay.
Thank you
Thank
so much,
you,
Kavya.
ma'am. I can't wait. Bye.
Thank you, everyone.
Sure. Thank you so much. Take care, everyone. Bye bye.
Thank you. Good night.
Good
Thank
night.
you,
Bye.
everyone.